With this, a gentleman by the name of Guy Barr and another one by the name of Ori Berjarano are two digital marketers based in Israel, and they typically use artificial intelligence to create commercial advertisements. But after Kanye West's latest anti-Semitic stunt, a Super Bowl ad directing viewers to a website selling a single swastika T-shirt for $20, they decided to use their AI skills to condemn West's bigoted antics, or rather, to make it look as if a bunch of celebrities were speaking out against him.
Right.
And they are behind
this.
A video that quickly went viral this week featuring AI-generated versions of various Jewish public figures, including Jerry Seinfeld, Scarlett Johansson, David Schwimmer, Steven Spielberg, Michael Bloomberg, Larry Page, Sergey Brin, among others. In the videos, celebrities are seen wearing white T-shirts with the word Kanye on them above a hand, giving the middle finger with a Star of David in the middle of that. It concludes with an AI-generated Adam Sandler flipping his finger at the camera. The other AI-generated figures in the video are Drake, Mark Zuckerberg, Sacha Baron Cohen, Lisa Kudrow, Paul Simon, and Art Garfunkel, Jack Black, Lenny Kravitz, Natalie Portman, Woody Allen, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, Mila Kunis, Ben Stiller, and Adam Levine. Barr said, "We deliberately chose very understated video style, completely opposite to the aggressive and provocative way Kanye West expresses himself. And we wanted to use their voices, so to speak, to tell Kanye West your anti-Semitism and incitement to violence have crossed every possible line." But the video, which was created without the consent of the celebrities, has had an unintended impact. Much of the conversation surrounding it has been focused on concerns about using AI to generate images of real people without their permission, rather than on the anti-Semitism that it was meant to protest.
So when I first saw it, it seemed fairly convincing. And then I've heard that they were using AI, but they got the consent. So both are wrong. They didn't get the consent of anybody in it. I agree with the message, but you kind of have to get people to sign off on stuff before you do something like this.
Johansson,
that's the whole issue.
Who has previously spoken out against AI-generated videos featuring her likeness, said in a statement Wednesday that while she is a Jewish woman who has no tolerance for anti-Semitism or hate speech of any kind, she considered the video a misuse of AI. She said, "It has been brought to my attention by family members and friends that an AI-generated video featuring my likeness in response to the anti-Semitic view has been circulating online and gaining traction." And she said, "I have unfortunately been a very public victim of AI. But the truth is that the threat of AI affects each and every one of us." And she also called on Congress to pass legislation that would protect people against the imminent dangers of AI. As of reporting time, though, none of the other celebrities featured in the video have commented on it publicly. Well, Schwimmer recently spoke out against West's sick hate speech in an Instagram story, which we reported on.
I think one of the issues, and I think Woody Allen complained because they put his head on Goldberg's body.
Oh, that's weird.
It looked weird.
Barr said that he and Bejarano have not heard directly from any of the people depicted in the video. He said that they have read Johansson's statement and that they deeply respected her stance on AI and the broader conversation surrounding AI usage. That said, Barr stated the video in question was not created for commercial purposes, but rather as an artistic and cultural statement aimed at confronting rising anti-Semitism. Wendy Williams is heading to Miami this weekend to celebrate her dad's 94th birthday, marking the first time in months that she's been able to socialize outside of her care facility. While she's looking forward to the trip, she'll also be seeing her son, Kevin Hunter Jr., whom she believes financially took advantage of her, leading to court-order guardianship. During an appearance recently, Wendy addressed the situation, staying diplomatic, but making it clear that she's eager to see Kevin. In Saving Wendy, which is TMZ's new documentary streaming on Tubi, she details how her guardianship began after Wells Fargo flagged large unauthorized withdrawals, which she suspected involved Kevin and others, though he denies any wrongdoing. A judge reviewing her case seemed to side with her, stating in court documents, while Mr. Hunter, who is her son Kevin, apologized for past mistakes and inappropriate behavior, the court is not convinced that he can keep her safe and wouldn't willingly or unwittingly expose her to financial exploitation.
Could you imagine if it's your own kid who's setting you up this way?
And there's more. TMZ sources just revealed that Williams signed an affidavit requesting a judge dissolve her guardianship. Williams' affidavit supposedly maintains she does not have frontotemporal dementia, despite the claims of her guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, and that she insists that she has regained capacity to function without a guardian. Winnie will also see a doctor for an evaluation and has a lawyer ready to push through all legal avenues to have her guardianship case seen by a judge and a jury. So we'll see what the doctor has to say.
It's definitely breaking in her favor right now.
Yep, we'll see where that goes. Cynthia Erivo is adding another award to her mantle. The actress will be the recipient of its annual Stephen F. Kolzak Prize at the 2025 GLAAD Media Awards. And that award is given to a queer celebrity each year who has raised visibility and promoted acceptance of LGBTQ people and issues. The award will be presented to Erivo at the ceremony on March 27th in Los Angeles. Other celebrities that will also be awarded at the show will be Billie Eilish, Elton John, Adam Lambert, and Omar Apollo. There are others as well to receive the recognition during that event.
So Cynthia Erivo got completely shut out of the Tasties, Marissa.
Oh.
It was kind of weird. Yeah.
She's getting a GLAAD award, though. She'll be happy about that. Jon Stewart is putting his hosting talents to work for a great cause. The comedian will be returning as host of the upcoming autism benefit concert, Night of Too Many Stars. The comedy concert and auction event, which benefits Next for Autism, is set for Monday, March 31st. It'll be at New York's Beacon Theater. And along with John, an all-star cast of performance will join in the event. So Chris Rock, Adam Sandler, Amy Schumer, Ronnie Ching, Alex Edelman, Susie Essman, Jim Gaffigan, Jeff Garlin, James Austin Johnson, Sam Morril, Please Don't Destroy.
Yeah, for the guys from SNL who do the videos.
Okay. Sarah Sherman and Max Weinberg's Jukebox, with more names to be announced.
So
soon.
the guys of Please Don't Destroy are all they're kids of veteran SNL writers and legends in the business. So they're a super talented group.
Okay. I normally don't give you much on the Housewives because I can't stand that stuff.
Oh, I thought you loved them.
But the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Teddy Mellencamp revealed yesterday that doctors found multiple brain tumors that require emergency surgery.
Yeah, I saw this.
So the reality star told followers on her Instagram that she had been suffering debilitating headaches for weeks.
It's horrible.
And finally, she said the pain was unbearable and required hospitalization. After a CAT scan and MRI, doctors found multiple tumors on my brain, which they believe had been growing for at least 6 months. Oh, man. Mellencamp explained that she was to have 2 of the tumors surgically removed yesterday, adding the remaining smaller tumors will be dealt with via radiation at a later date. So hopefully they can get a handle on that. That's terrible.
Yeah.
All right, so I thought this was kind of fun. Liam Neeson has once again taken up the mantle of one of his most iconic characters. The actor stepped back into his role as Brian Mills from his beloved Taken franchise. And he did it to sell a house. In a playful video promoting a house for sale in Melbourne's Mulgrave suburb, Neeson provided his famous voice for the ad, addressing the realtor, a person named Ming Zhu. He said, "Listen, Ming, I'm shooting a movie at the moment. Do a video and send it to me." And in the clip, there's a little exchange where Zhu warns, "Sure, you better be quick, otherwise this home will be taken."
Okay.
And the actor couldn't appear in person, but recorded the voiceover as a favor to the homeowners who are longtime friends of his.
Okay.
And in the video, he says something like, "That's very original." When he says "taken," well, good for him.
He's doing it as a favor.
I think after acting, he could be a Century 21 realtor.
Good.
maybe.
Or
He'd
he
probably
actually
look good in that
could do
coat.
it in tandem as well.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to wait to retire.
Yeah. A big name is close to coming on board in a big role in the upcoming HBO Harry Potter series. John Lithgow is reportedly nearing a deal to star as Professor Albus Dumbledore in the upcoming HBO reboot. While Deadline reported the rumor, HBO is remaining mum, saying in a statement, "We appreciate that such a high-profile series will draw a lot of rumor and speculation. As we make our way through pre-production, we will only confirm details as we finalize deals."
I could see him doing that, but playing him as Churchill. That would be really cool. Combine both characters.
The series is expected to run 10 years and cover the same ground as the film franchise. And there will be more detail from the books.
That's what you're right. So there, obviously, there's a very rabid book fan base and a very rabid movie fan base, and there's some crossover, but they're very protective. And obviously, there's a ton of stuff they couldn't get to in the books.
Yeah, and this is why streaming is so good, because you can flesh things out.
Yep.
You know, especially with you have something as rich as that whole series. Steve, I was telling you about a movie that he's in that's coming out in March. It's him and Jeffrey Rush. And
yes.
I don't know if you saw it. I think it's called The Rule of Jenny Penn. It's like a horror thriller.
I saw it mentioned. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Yeah.
Nick, do you think they'll include Peeves in the story?
Yeah, to Casey's point, I mean, they're going to flesh out stuff that they either left out or didn't pay enough attention to. I remember vividly leaving the theater after the last one, after Deathly Hallows Part 2, and it might have even been a Preston and Steve show screening, and sitting with two women who were disappointed at the amount of book stuff that had been left out of the series. And I get it. Like, to me, they're separate universes. If you love the books, you love the books. If you love the movies, you can love the movies, and you can love them differently and separately. But there are so many parts of, especially the later books. Like, if you read Order of the Phoenix, and you know what, Half-Blood Prince, they go so into Voldemort's backstory, how he became who he was. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. So hopefully they'll get a chance to, and that's usually what the series can do. So
do they go into his years of attempting to get on the Notre Dame football team, but being denied because of his stature?
Well, he wasn't very tall, Steve.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people doubted him.
And watch with your nose.
Seth Rogen has a new show coming to Apple TV Plus. The new series called The Studio features Rogen as a studio executive in Hollywood. It features a technical challenge for the people that are making this. The Studio, apparently each scene in each episode of the show will be one long shot without cuts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's going to be tough. Why go through all that trouble for a comedy? Well, Seth said we wanted to show the show to have an immersive, manic energy to it, because that's our experience, being in these rooms with people yelling at each other. And we wanted to throw you into it and create this sort of unpredictable, uneasy energy.
So I've heard of it as a combination of the walk and talk from the West Wing with the kitchen scenes from The Bear.
The Bear, okay. The Studio will premiere on March 26th. Then we'll do a couple other quick things. Just a day after we learned the production had wrapped on the 6th and final season of The Handmaid's Tale, a trailer has come out and a premiere date for the hit series. Season 6 will debut April 8th with a 3-episode drop, with new episodes arriving weekly on Tuesdays until the May 27th finale. So looking forward to that. And then one last thing, if you've ever wondered what it's like to be inside the world of Major League Baseball, an upcoming docuseries will take you beyond the ticket window and into the dugout. It's called The Clubhouse, A Year with the Red Sox. And it walks in the footsteps of such productions as Hard Knocks and Drive to Survive that take viewers inside the sports they love. The Clubhouse will follow the Boston Red Sox through their 2024 season, in which the team finished third in their division with an 81-81 record. The 8-episode docuseries will give never-before-seen access to the Great American Game. That will debut on April 8th, by the way.
And they picked the Sox?
It's
kind of an average season for them last year. Pick a team like the Phillies where there was a bunch of ups and downs and disappointment at the end of the season. I don't know. I love the Red Sox and I love the history of Fenway and the whole franchise and everything like that. But that story's been told so many damn times over the last 20 years.
I think, obviously, they have to choose ahead of time. They don't know what the season's going to be like.
They could rig it.
Yeah. Do you recall, Nick, whether or not they had a promising season ahead of them?
No, not really. I don't think they were picked to do that well. The O's had come off a 100-plus win season. Whatever. Yeah, I don't get to choose these things. I'll just bitch about them afterwards.
Please, just bitch. We got some clips here. Bring Them Down shows the misfortunes of an Irish shepherd shepherding family.
Oh.
Who face conflicts that are affecting their livelihood. The film has an impeccable cast, and here Christopher Abbott describes his admiration for Irish actor Colmini.
Colin's a legend, especially in Ireland. He's over the years in so many movies, and he always just sort of brings it, on top of just doing the scenes with him and getting to act. He's just a fun time outside of that. He's a great storyteller, and I just like hanging out with him.
Shut up!
Bring Them Down is now in theaters. Here's our next clip. Cobra Kai wrapped up production its final season, and the cast is excited for fans to enjoy the last several episodes. In this clip, Tanner Buchanan shares his appreciation for the whole cast and crew.
So many people got so close, and you just can't recreate that or fake it or anything. And I think we're going to be in each other's lives forever, which is cool. And just having the opportunity to be a part of something so big and for the fans and people to enjoy it so much, I think that's all we can ask for. And it's been such a wild ride. It's so fun.
Cobra Kai Season 6, Part 3, the very final, streams today on Netflix. So
Are you excited?
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to have a watching party?
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're stoked about it. We've spent, we've watched each season multiple times. I'm loving it. So we're sad and happy that it's coming to a close.
Bittersweet.
Yeah. All right, that is your entertainment report for you this morning. We hope you're going to stick with us today. We've got some stuff to get to. We have an interesting mystery guest, an anonymous guest we're going to talk to later on this morning. I don't even know if I want to tease ahead of time why we're having this person on the show.
Well, it had to do with a bizarre file story from yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what started it. And it led us to an off-air conversation. And I think it's going to the fascinating conversation later this week.
It's poised to be very fascinating. But I will say it's maybe it'll fall into the weirdest 3% of things we've ever talked about on the show.
Yeah.
It involves the ass. I will tell you that.
Okay.
But other than that, we'll wait.
And then some.
That too. All right, so let's take a break. We'll come back in just a moment, so stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3
I actually did the drive-through, so I just
Put your ass
stuck
up.
it out the window. Yeah, I did the whole thing, and there was a different cheek for each dose of the Moderna, but I'll just go on more about that. So what happened was I really know when to stop, don't I? Anyway, but to go back and to be able to perform, and it's not going to be loaded with people, they have to do the CDC guidelines.
Sure.
So people are going to wear masks, and it's going to probably be half or less, a third. I don't know what the thing is. We're doing 2 shows. My buddy Mike and I have toured for 10 years, and he's doing really well, but we're on tour again because I haven't been this excited to do stand-up, I don't think ever.
That's great.
Ever, because they need it and I need it, and I get to make people laugh, and I'll be able to hear them through a mask, Yeah.
So, Bob, in the world of social media, when you're posting on Twitter and Instagram, and you're posting these photos, you always have to be aware of what's going on in the background, because people like to zoom in and you left the toilet dispenser out, and or whatever. But now you're doing these Zoom interviews, and clearly you've given your background a lot of thought as well, and we've been doing this with other Zoom interviews.
Right.
So I'm noticing the stuff that is neatly placed on the desk behind you, and I'm wondering if over your right shoulder, is that a Batmobile? I can't really figure out what's going on all the way.
It looks like one, but yes, you know what? I think it is. It is. Yes, it is.
Oh.
I would go get it, but I'm wired to the computer. So,
so
if
Steve,
I leave, I drag the whole damn setup off the thing. But on the other shoulder is Rodney Dangerfield, a gold. That is an award from the UCLA Brain Society, not society. It's not a society of brain people. It's the secret brain club.
They're like the aliens from Mars Attacks.
Exactly. It's Mars Attack people. But it's actually was given to me by the people that run the brain ward in the brain center at which is redundant because the brain. Anyway, you're right. You were right earlier. Tangents are not a good thing. I really should have listened when we started. But that was awarded read to me by Joan Dangerfield, his widow, and a friend of mine, Joe Gray, at a big event. And he was a good friend. I officiated his funeral, and he started me out on the Young Comedian special when I was like 25, 24.
I remember. Yeah.
Bob, don't you have another piece of memorabilia from Rodney in your collection? Something
I do. It's in the other room. There's a study behind here, and I've got Rodney's pot pipe, and that came out on the Bill Burr Bert Kreischer podcast. And I've got a box that he kept all of his pot in, and his actual pot pipe. And I'm afraid I got high just looking at it.
Well, a lot of people don't know that he was a very active pot smoker, and that was his thing. And he was, you know, I wonder now, Bob, with the strains and the potency levels, how do you think he would have held up against the current crop and strains?
I don't think he would have needed the brain surgery. I think literally he could have gone out a little more peaceful, because it was elective brain surgery because it was something that was going to happen to him.
All right.
And I'm not big on elective brain surgery, just me personally, because that's why I stopped practicing brain surgery. But he was like, man, I'll tell you, I'll smoke pot every day. I don't care who knows it. They're going to put it on my epitaph. And I'm like, I don't think you want that on your tombstone. Well, actually, on his tombstone, it says, there goes the neighborhood, because he's next to like Billy Wilder and Dean Martin and stuff.
That's sensational. I wanted to just bring up something, because you were mentioning directing and getting onto some projects you're doing. Dirty Work was on the other night, and that you directed that, and Norm Macdonald is in it.
Yep.
And to me, that, and I know a lot of people feel this way, that is a cult status level movie. Do you ever get a chance?
I want to marry you. I want to marry you. I am married. My wife's out of town, but if she comes back on Sunday, if we can get married right after I do the Hard Rock Saturday.
It's just Norm Macdonald to me is just one of the greats, and I hold you in that rare status as well as far as what you do, but the union of you two, and it's so wrong in all the right ways.
Well, it's really nice to hear you say that, and I will have something I'll be able to say in the months ahead that is damn exciting if you love that movie.
All right.
And it's not a flip book. You know?
No, I would not be as excited.
We're coming out with a Viewmaster from Dirty Work.
I used to love Viewmaster.
It is something that if we're doing what we're planning to do with who we're planning to do it with, it's going to be one of your favorite things that you've seen in a long time. So
awesome.
It's been a couple of years in the making, but it would. I'm really not subtle. We know what I'm talking about.
But we can't say it for legal reasons.
No, I can't. But I love Norm, and when I call him and when we talk, it's just like I'll try him for like a week, or I'll text him, and then all of a sudden I'll get a phone call. Hey, Saget, why don't you ever call me? It's like, he's always the good one to blame other people. And I'm always just a total sucker for his comedy. He's one of the smartest people I've ever known that does comedy. But I got to tell you, I've been going over. I got to tell you, I'm Bob Hope's dad. I've been going over a stand-up that I want to do. It's oddly, before the quarantine happened, before COVID, I was becoming more responsible in what I was doing. It would just seem to have more meaning. There were more stories. There was more. It wasn't politics or religion. I'm not there to do that. I'm there to entertain everybody, but yet have some actual human context of the things I grew up with.
Yeah,
more human, and it just started happening. So I'm a different. People are now just right before quarantine. They were going, "You're not as dirty as I want you to be." I'm like, I'll throw in another word for you. I don't know what to do. We change as we do this. You don't do just one speed, one thing. So,
well, I think
I can't wait.
Just a quick observation is that your material's always been able to stand on your. I think there used to be for years an initial shock that the Full House guy was for people who were unaware. I happen to be aware that you were great with that, but the material isn't predicated on the expletives. The material was always there. You're always a smart comic.
Thank you for knowing that, because that's the truth. I don't know. I'm out of context, and all they do is take a scene from The Aristocrats, which can't be made or shown. But you guys started my career. Not you personally, but WMMR. Yeah. I won a radio contest when I was 17 years old.
Yeah.
And WMMR gave me $500. I don't know if I've talked about it on your show before.
Have, yeah.
Well, here it is again.
Was that at Stephen Starr's Comedy Club? Club or?
No, actually, that's where I really started. But before that, it was a place called Grandma Minnie's, and you guys were teenagers, and I was. No, you were babies. I was a teenager. I was 17. I sang a song about bondage, and then people go, "How did the Full House dad get weird?" I don't know. When he was 17, he sang a song about bondage. So I mean, Steven Starr did a lot for my career. I was playing at a club at 3rd and Bainbridge that he owned.
Okay,
but I love Philly. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I wanted to ask you about
Are you going to conduct an orchestra?
That's how we know we're
hold up our
going to
fingers so that we don't talk over one another, and so that but I wanted to ask you about Comedy Central roast because you mentioned them earlier, and they've been airing them a lot lately, and I think that they're great, but they also get cut off. In particular, there was one where Bill Hader came out as the president of Hollywood, and I don't remember if you were there at that roast.
No, I've only been to one. I've actually hosted real roasts that weren't televised, like the Jack Black roast for 2,000 people in New York. Wow. That was for the Friars. So that was for charities. The other charity is Comedy Central. But please continue. So Bill Hader got cut off?
I guess my question is, you probably prefer to do the ones in private because the ones on Comedy Central really are just tailor-made for TV. They're chopped up, they're edited a lot, and to me, it's not really pure comedy. It's more just about...
Yeah, and mine was particularly because I had a edgy bluer stand-up because I don't know. I did an HBO special shot at NYU with 20-year-olds, so I just became a chameleon for the audience. I should have chosen a higher ground, but that's who I was as an artist. But that was particularly foul with my friends, and Stamos hosted. It had famous Cloris Leachman kiss on it.
That was great.
May she rest in peace. And then Gilbert, who I want to sue for the rest of my life for what he said. And unfortunately, people see that and they think if people are joking about it, it's true. That's how herd mentality works.
Yeah.
It's like, what? And I didn't say anything. I just sat there and eventually laughed. Sometimes there was actually, when I was doing it, Joel Gallen, the great Greg Giraldo, who I loved so much.
Oh, he's one of the best.
You guys loved him, right? Yep. Did you used to have him on?
We had him on the show, and he's again in that. The economy of words and the execution of the concepts were just unbelievable. What a loss! So there are a few times I've been nervous when people have come into the studio. When Norm came in, Greg, because I just respected, and you, Bob, obviously, people I respect so much, and he was just great. And he really. They talk about Jeff Ross and Jeff Ross is great, but to me, pound for pound, Giraldo brought it to those roasts.
Yeah, and I think Jeff would agree, and we all agree. Greg was prolific and amazing, and he said I looked like the Vlasic pickle stork sitting there with those granny glasses and that large pointy nose. So that, of course, is something that I memorized. But the point is, he shouldn't be gone. And I talked to him like 2 weeks before he passed, and he was fine. You know, it was just a horrible thing that happened, and he caved at a bad time. Yeah. And it's very, very sad. But I called him and I said, so are we going to hang out? Because we talked about it after the roast. He said, oh, yeah. I got a girl here, Bob, I want you to talk to. And he did like a Norm Macdonald prank on me. I didn't know what was happening. And a young lady gets on the phone and she goes, hello, who is this? And I said, oh, it's Bob Saget. Greg says that you wanted to talk to me, that you're apparently a fan. Why would they be a fan? I said, well, I don't know. I was on that show Full House. I do not know that show. I do not know who you are. And then he gets back on the phone and he's laughing his head off. He was just trying to impress somebody who sounded like Natasha and Boris were at the bar. And he had no clue who anything.
That's great.
Although Full House played in Russia, so I think they liked it.
Maybe they did.
Because we were of the right demographic. That's a nice thing to say in the morning. Hi, everybody. Have a great day. But I want to come into the studio next time I'm in there when I'm playing Philly, whether I play wherever, maybe the Tower again. Is the Tower going to open up?
I don't know, man.
We're hoping for everything. You know this town as well as anybody, Bob, and there's just so many great venues and the amount of people who are devastated by this, just on that level, and it's not even just the performers; it's the people behind the scenes and the sound people and all that. There's been so much stuff, and we've got to do, and we're trying to do. Everybody's sort of trying to vigorously do everything they can to get everything back up and running, because the charm of this area is that you always had so many shows and comedy venues and all that stuff, and the Tower is historical. So we hope.
I'm hoping a lot of theaters, a lot of us are doing clubs because
WMMR.
Foggy here in Bala Cynwyd this morning.
I was just noticing that.
Assuming it's from the rain and catching the snow and it melting and a warmer temperature today.
It could be that. We often talk about that military base that's conducting those experiments, Preston.
Oh, yeah.
The mist.
The mist.
And weather-wise, speaking of that, tomorrow for the parade, while it will be sunny, it's going to be cold and it's going to be breezy too. That's the thing. I just want to make sure. And listen, it's going to be wonderful. Philly's no stranger to outdoor cold celebrations, the Mummers Day Parade, all these things that happen outside that we do. We're used to it, but with that breeze, just a heads up, you're going to want to make sure, gloves, hat, thick layers and all that stuff tomorrow morning because they're saying 30-mile-an-hour gusts.
And just remember,
that's gold.
When you're in the city, when you're in that part of the city, it's a canyon.
Big
so
time.
it's going to accelerate you're going to feel cold. So heed Preston's advice. Bundle up. You'll have a great time.
Yeah, just be ready for that. And another thing I do want to mention, because I mentioned this yesterday, if you're going to be near the art museum, wear boots. Dude, there's a lot of grass around there.
Yeah.
And as wet as it has been with the snow now melting and the rain that came in overnight, when we were there in 2018, I remember walking around with Casey and it was just a mud bath. And I remember seeing a couple times just a shoe.
Yes.
Like somebody, and I'm like, I felt so bad for that person walking around with a wet, muddy sock on one foot.
Terrible.
And cold.
Yeah.
So wear your boots. Get yourself ready for that.
The elements aren't as bad if you're prepared for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good
Simple as
point.
that.
Yeah, most definitely. Hey, I got this email. I got to share this. This is great. It says, hi, Preston and Steve family. This is from Lori and Ryder. Their last name is Camarote, I believe. She said, so my son Ryder is 9 years old, and he comes from a Preston and Steve loving family. We live in Westchester, but mom grew up in Delco. He had to make a Valentine's box for his third grade Valentine's Day party. Ryder was determined to repurpose his white trash can with the swinging lid once again this year, but could not come up with something different. And then BirdBot 2.0 was introduced on the radio. He was very curious, and we explained the history and how it will travel to the Super Bowl and make memorable stops along the way. And I showed him a picture of BirdBot 2.0, and he was sold. That was going to be his Valentine's box. And he brings it in tomorrow, meaning today, for his party, and he is so excited. Well, when did I receive this? Yeah, I got this yesterday. So she said, thank you all for being awesome and for being a part of our life since the WDRE days with Dan Fine. Ha, 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 she says.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So she sent pictures of his BirdBot.
Can we see?
Yeah, I'm going to show these to you, and I'm going to show them to our streaming camera as well. It's in black and white, but this is this is the BirdBot that he made.
I love it.
Out of his trash can.
We should bring him onto the R&D team
for Valentine's Day, and
That's impressive.
I thought so too. Artistically, it's really cool. This kid did a great job. So nice job, Ryder, and thank you, Lori, for letting us know about that. Hope you guys have a great Valentine's Day event at your school. And then Nick sent me this as well. It says, hey, good morning, Nick. And I first want to start out by saying we're huge fans of the show. I was wondering if there's any way you guys could recognize, there's another championship, by the way, recognize my cheerleading team, Archbishop Ryan, New Jersey NTJV, who just became national champions. And they want to get a shout out on the show. So the whole NTJV thing, it stands for, she said they won the junior varsity non-tumbling division down at the National High School Cheerleading Championship in Orlando, Florida this past weekend. And by the way, I saw our buddy hosting that. Oh my God. Why am I? Richard Curtis.
Oh, yes.
I saw he said
the Classroom
posted a video of him hosting that.
Oh, wow.
He said they said these girls have had a golden season all year, and they are ending it with actual gold medals and white satin jackets. They showed that hard work and determination will lead to success. This is the first time in Archbishop Ryan's school history that a team has won and become a national champion. The team is made up of 14 amazing athletes, and she mentions them here, so I'm going to read out the names, and I apologize if I mess these up. Natalie, Basia, Samantha, Izzy, Megan, Reese, Emily, Carly, Grace, Lily, Jalen, Melody, and Jessica, and 2 dedicated coaches, Alyssa Hoover and Katie Kelly.
Rocky, Ricky, Danny, Terry, Mikey, Davey, Timmy, Tommy, Joey, Robbie, Johnny, and Brian.
One more time, please.
Rocky, Ricky, Danny, Terry, Mikey, Davey, Timmy, Tommy, Joey, Robbie, Johnny, and Brian.
And Willie. Casey, that was brilliant. She said, we're so excited for the girls. Thank you in advance. And that is from Katie Kelly. So a shout out, if you would, please,
Yes, of
for the
course.
gang. Congratulations on being another national champion.
We just can't stop winning, can we?
Winning these national championships.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
What was that?
That's a song. I don't know.
All right. I don't know that. All right. Speaking of national championship and the Eagles and all things Super Bowl, like I said, we're broadcasting from the Cambria Hotel,
Which looks friggin' phenomenal.
on Broad Street. Tomorrow morning, Marissa went there and scouted it for us because none of us have been inside. We got word from our team at MMR promotion staff, which is Eric Simon.
Yeah.
And he said this location's great, but, we like to see things. And Marissa went down there and took a video of the Cambria and the inside area where we will be and the balcony at which we will have access to. It looks fantastic, and I'm so looking forward to this thing.
Well, even besides a Super Bowl victory parade, just the way the hotel is laid out in that balcony along that area there is wonderful, man.
Yeah.
It's like a hidden gem.
And by the way, and I don't want to tip our hand, but there's something super cool that could be happening with BirdBot that we're very excited about. BirdBot will be there. It will be on the parade grounds no matter what, but there's something super special that might happen.
And we
we're not
fear
gonna say
talking about it
Yeah.
could F it up.
Yeah, we're not going to say anything about it, but BirdBot's going to be represented fully at the parade. Speaking of that, of the Super Bowl and the championship, Casey came across this really cool video montage on Instagram, right?
Yeah, and I think actually the Eagles might have released it.
Oh, they put it together?
Yeah, they might have. Let me just.
I think it was NFL case.
NFL. That's okay.
Yep.
And what does that stand for again?
The National Football League. Yeah, and it was the Philadelphia Eagles and the NFL, maybe.
Okay.
All right.
But like easily, I think. Listen, it was a great game. It was a bloodbath, but easily, I think the most exciting play of the game was the Cooper DeJean interception return for a touchdown.
Okay.
I think easily. The Devontae Smith touchdown was really great, but that one was just electric from the moment the ball left Mahomes' hands, all the way to the point where DeJean.
And the way he worked it, the way he grabbed it.
Yep. Yeah.
So with that, they obviously the game is carried around the world, and there are international play-by-play and color commentators. And so we obviously had Oscar Budajin on leading up to the Super Bowl, and he does amazing job in Spanish language, recounting what's going on in the field and adds his own flavor to it. And these announcers from around the world just have their own style.
Yeah.
Each country.
Well, you think there's sort of an inherent way that they're accustomed to delivering this kind of sports thing, and it's I don't know anybody who doesn't smile the second they hear it.
Yeah, and listen, we've had Joe Buck on the show, and I've come around on him. And what I appreciate about Joe Buck is that as the commentator, I don't think he does too much, right?
Yeah.
Especially during an exciting play, he lets the play stand out, for itself, because you're viewing it, right? You're watching it, so you can watch everything unfold. It's different for like radio broadcast,
Right,
or whatever,
correct.
but for television broadcast,
Yep.
But there is an excitement to how you're portraying this. And so Kevin Burkhardt is the one who called it. That's what we all watched on Fox.
Right, yeah.
And so if you want to get an idea, this is what we heard as we were watching the game.
Looking, firing, intercepted, picked up by Cooper DeJean, gets a block. DeJean is in, touchdown.
All right, well, let's go around the world.
All right.
And let's see how that exact same play was called in a variety of not just languages, but other countries as well, because there are English-speaking plays, English-speaking calls that we're going to play as well. So which one are we going to go with first?
This was the first one I saw last night, and this is France. And as I'm watching it, I was just kind of giggling. I was like, this doesn't even sound like a language. It just sounds like people just making sounds.
You think they've been pretending all along?
Yeah. So this is what it sounded like in France.
Okay.
Sur troisième tentative et 16 yards, Patrick Mahomes en quête d'un jeu. L'interception avec la relance peut-être. Touchdown, toujours debout, avec la possibilité de battre le défenseur. Et le touchdown des Eagles de Philadelphie, Cooper DeJean.
Philadelphia. That was pretty exciting. I like the guy going,
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, are those actual words?
he was actually literally having a heart attack.
Let me hear that part of it.
Troisième tentative et 16 yards, Patrick Mahomes en quête d'un jeu. L'interception avec la relance peut-être.
What's he saying, Nick? Any idea?
Interception. It was third down.
Interception.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Touchdown, toujours debout, avec.
Anything there?
He's saying Dijon, which is funny because
Mustard?
I'm sorry?
Dijon? Mustard?
Degean, which is
Cooper DeJean.
Cooper's last name. And then the other announcer says, in with the American accent, says DeJean at the end of it.
Okay.
La possibilité de battre le défenseur et le touchdown des Eagles de Philadelphie, Cooper DeJean.
That gene.
It is funny how in French, Philadelphia, it becomes Philadelphie. In French, and I don't like the American. All they have to do is put an A on, but they decide, we're going to go with an E at the end of it.
So a question to that was aired. That's what French viewers and obviously games carried around the world.
Right.
And it speaks to the conversation we've been having a number of times recently about how popular American football is becoming around the world.
Around the world. I mean, listen, we played in Brazil for the first time this year. They are, they're really making inroads and big strides in Germany. They announced that the Eagles and Rams are going to be playing in Australia in 2026.
There's a Berlin game next year too.
Berlin, yeah.
Let's
they
go.
Played in Munich.
Let's go live to the reaction that they're going to be.
It's okay. You can calm down. Maybe sit down. Drink a little water.
Okay.
You want to go to South Africa?
Hang on a second. I have Mario wants to comment. Mario, good morning to you.
Big brown Guatemala nipples.
Get sucked up by all sorts of pimples.
Mario.
Why? What's up, bud?
I'm not even lying to you. When I first heard that clip, that dude in the background sounds like Nick, very close to when the Phillies won the World Series.
You're saying he sounded like this.
Exactly.
I love it. Thanks,
I'm
Mario.
repeating that in French.
Appreciate it, bud.
Love you.
All right, let's go somewhere else. Another country. Casey, where are we going?
We're going to South Korea.
South Korea. Same play. Here we go.
뒤로 빠르게 물러났습니다. 다음 달려나오면서 강한 패스. 쿠퍼드진 밀어내면서 안쪽 오야가
You know,
a little bit of harmonizing.
Yeah, you don't know what we don't get enough of is our guys yelling together.
Yeah.
This is something that we're hearing. We've also heard that with Oscar Buttigieg too, and his sidekick, that
Ricky Ricardo.
that they are yelling together at the same time.
So let's try.
Generally in America, it's just one guy gets the mic.
We'll yell in elation and let's harmonize. Okay, and you count us down, Case.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. I got a little lightheaded there, guys. Sorry.
And are you having
I'm having an ocular migraine as well. I'm wearing sunglasses. These are prescription sunglasses, so that's why I'm wearing them. But they're also polarized, so Preston, I can't see these screens at all.
Oh, because are they all spots?
They're all. It's all like just dark.
Can I wear your glasses?
Yeah.
Wait, I want
Yeah.
to see this too. I'm sorry, I'm taking your ocular. Oh, wait, I got to take my glasses off. Hang on a second here. Oh my God! It's black. There's nothing. Casey needs to see our monitors.
All right.
In order to operate all this stuff. All right. Well, anyhow, that was South Korea. Not as fun as the French, but still.
Yeah, so-
I like the two people yelling at the same time.
The harmonizing's cool.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna rank these, France is
out ahead right now.
They're in first
All right.
place.
Let's go to Brazil.
Yes, which we know they're big fans, especially of the Eagles down there.
Same play, the Cooper DeJean interception. Here we go. Interception.
Se afastou bastante, Mahomes largou o braço pro meio, interceptação! E o retorno pode ser fatal! O retorno pode ser touchdown! Philadelphia Eagles!
It sounds
Wait
like
a
he's
minute,
in the
he's got a
hallway.
reverb button.
Yeah.
Yes.
He has a reverb button like
Eagle!
he's got like what you have, Steve.
Yeah.
Wait, back it up.
I just did it. Yeah.
I'm gonna back it up even more. Hang on.
E o retorno pode ser fatal! O retorno pode ser
Right here.
touchdown! Philadelphia Eagles!
That's like Matt at the Sixers
I was
game.
just gonna say,
He's got
yeah.
a delay button.
He went to the Matt Cord School of Sports Broadcasting.
Oh, that's funny. Wow, I like that one a lot. Now, he's by himself, but he also sounds like he's in a small enclosure.
Yeah, like he's in a bathroom stall.
Yeah, or there's some like a walk-in
Like
closet.
you walk in to wash your hands and there's a cord going into the.
Yeah. He's just watching it on his phone. He's doing it. Listen.
Se afastou bastante, Mahomes largou o braço
Scusa, please.
pro meio, interceptação!
Yeah, sounds like he's in a
E o
room.
retorno pode ser fatal! O retorno pode ser touchdown! Philadelphia Eagles!
Excuse me, how long are you going to be?
I love that. I don't know if I can rank that above or in a
still
tie
going-
with the French.
I'm putting that neck and neck with France.
I'm going.
By the way,
France first.
South Korea not. I mean, the harmonizing gets them points as well.
Yeah. Now we got to go to Germany.
All right, let's go to Germany. Here
This
we
is
go.
just going to sound angry.
All right.
Patrick Mahomes hält die O-Line jetzt mal. Rollt rechts raus. Interception! Das ist das Geburtstagskind! Cooper DeJean! Touchdown! Philadelphia Eagles! Wow! Wie übernehmen die gerade diese... Wow!
Oh, they say wow in German. I didn't know that.
That's wow in French, too.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Wow. All right, that was good.
So that actually
it didn't sound angry.
That almost sounded the most American.
Das ist gut.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think Hitler used to do color commentary for T-ball games.
No.
For
Yeah, yeah.
T-ball, that's kind of.
Little Billy, he's a home run.
Little Billy.
He should have a reverb button too.
Little Frankie steps up to the stand. He has a home run.
I think you're going to like this one. This is Japan.
You would assume Japan, by its very nature, Japanese, especially in old Akira Kurosawa films and samurai films.
This is
very
my favorite one.
expressive.
I love
It
this
can sound
one.
aggressive. Too.
Aggressive.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I like China as well, and we're going to get to that.
The wrestler or the
Yeah, no.
The female wrestler?
Yeah, God rest his soul.
Okay. All right. This is in Japan. Here we go.
サダンロング投げてそしてリターンしていく20ヤード10ヤード届くかタッチダウンインターセプトリターンタッチダウンルーキークーパーデジャー
Cooper DeJean.
What is that sound? It popped up both in the German broadcast and in this Japanese broadcast.
When they're going to do a graphic and or
is that what that is?
Do the replay.
Okay. I thought they
always
that's how they pass gas.
They throw a
over
little.
there.
Yeah, they throw a little effect on it for when they do a transition. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that guy had a better seat than the
guy who's in the
Brazilian-
bathroom?
Yeah. All right, that one was pretty good.
This one right here, this is going to be in English.
Okay.
I think this guy does a really, really great job of painting the picture.
Is this British English or Australian English?
This is United Kingdom.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Down to the right-hand side, has a man downfield, throws the interception at the 39-yard line. Returning out to numbers 25, 20. Cooper DeJean down to the 10, down to the 5. Touchdown, Eagles!
Wow.
Cooper DeJean goes all the way across the formation, returns the ball, and the rookie has picked Berbatov, the superstar.
Nice.
Yeah, great description. We tend to think, it'd be something more akin to, and of course, it's just an interception. He makes a run for the end zone, and of course, he gets the touchdown.
It reminds me of Steve. I'm going to go way, 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 way back. We were at Y100, and we were at what's the old fort right by the airport?
Mifflin.
We were at Fort Mifflin, and we were amazed because the flight pattern brought the planes in really low.
Yes.
I mean, like it's you can almost. It feels like you can reach up and touch them.
It does
when you're over there when the planes are landing. And we made up a fake sport because Casey was wondering if he could throw a rock and hit one of the planes. And we made up a fake sport where if you could throw a rock into one of the jet intakes and cause the plane to crash,
right, yeah.
then you get points.
That
for
was
that.
points, yeah.
And so Steve started to do a British commentary as if we were at the Olympic Games. And do you remember that at all?
I vaguely.
You're like, and now there's burning bodies all over the tarmac. Congratulations, Germany.
Well done, Casey boy.
And now the Swedish team steps forward.
He's got a cannon for an arm. He's going to bring down this jumbo jet, I'm certain.
Yeah.
It
reminded me of that.
It's funny. I was just telling Nick that I hopped on a VPN, where you can jump in, and I logged on to Netflix from England. So, and I was basically seeing British Netflix.
Oh, get out.
And so, and then they had commercials. So at the top where we have American football, they have soccer, obviously. But they were showing clips, and their soccer, their guys are 10 times as kinetic as we hear them here. I mean, like off the charts.
Hey, can you play the German one again real quick?
Yeah.
Because some listeners are saying that he actually wishes Cooper DeJean a happy birthday.
Patrick Mahomes hält die O-Line jetzt mal. Rollt rechts raus. Interception! Das ist das Geburtstagskind! Cooper DeJean!
Did he say that there? That's the birthday boy?
Geburtstagskind is birthday boy.
Okay.
Happy birthday to you! Das Geburtstagskind! Cooper DeJean! Touchdown! Philadelphia Eagles!
I'll be out in a minute.
Geburtstagkind.
Geburtstag.
Geburtstag.
I like that. I'm going to wish everybody a happy Geburtstag.
It's not my birthday, you jerk off.
I just got to remember how to say that. Geburtstag.
A Birkenstock.
Geburkenstock.
What?
What?
You're a moron.
All right, we're going to continue our travels around the world. This is the Cooper DeJean
I got to go get my passport.
interception, and now we're going to Hungary.
Hungary. I don't know what to expect from Hungary.
Here we go. Let's find out together.
Harmadik és 16. Mahomes indítja és eladja a labdát. El lehet kezdeni visszavinni ezt a labdát. Cooper DeJean kapja a blokkokat, és DeJean touchdown szerez. A Super Bowl-ok történetében az első játékos, aki a születésnapján beköszön. Nem punt return, interception return.
Nice.
That was the most
all right.
metered.
Yeah.
By the way, I keep thinking about Oscar Buttigieg, and was it Bryce Harper? It was his birthday, and he hit a home run. Whose birthday was it? And they started singing Happy
might have
Birthday
been
to
Bryce.
him. That one was just one of my all-time favorites. I'll have to look that up.
I'm looking it up now. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
Oscar, Bryce Harper. Yep, here it is.
Oh, yeah, let's play.
Wait, hang on. Happy birthday. Let me rewind it. Here
Just the birthday mention there made me think of that. Here we go.
Bueno, el compañero y un batazo grande de Harper. La bola se va. Se va. ¡Camponazo! Al segundo piso de Harper, amigo. ¡Qué clase de tabla! Los Phillies le mandan un mensaje a los Diamondbacks. Pon este juego 2-0 y el cumpleañero se va para la calle. ¡Camponazo!
Happy birthday, señor Vegas. Bryce Harper. Esto es uno de esos, sin duda, un moonshot, como dice en inglés, por el profundo right field.
¡Cumpleaños feliz! ¡Deseamos a ti! ¡Cumpleaños, dear Harper! ¡Cumpleaños feliz! ¡Happy birthday!
I love that. I love it.
Who was at that game?
Oh, yeah.
Game one against the Diamondbacks.
All
That's
right,
awesome.
So we were in Hungary last.
And we found them to be the most metered. So at this point in the trip around the world, Who do you have in first?
Right now, I think for me, it's France in first. And then I think Brazil gets a close second, but don't sleep on this next country.
Okay, all right, so we'll go to Spain. Let's try this one out. Here we go.
Mahomes tiene que encontrar algo de magia, sale a la derecha, busca el pase, interceptado, la tienen los Eagles, la tiene el cumpleañero, Cooper Dillín, a la 20, a la 10, a la 5, touchdown, touchdown para Cooper Dillín, cumpleaños feliz Cooper, jugador del defensor de Filadelfia, los Eagles están volando ahora de qué manera, Big Six, Cooper Dillín, el muchacho que cumple 22 años.
Muchacho.
Una intercepción maravillosa, retornándolo para el touchdown. Ahí está el chaval, la repe Rubén Idea.
Yeah, he said happy birthday to Cooper as well. Cumpleaños.
Spanish just lends itself. There are so many words that are spoken rapidly.
Yeah. It sounds. There's a velocity to it.
There is, as opposed to France, which is kind of mushy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Unless you're going.
Yeah, but the syllables are just boom, 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 rapid, like machine gun, and I love that cadence. I think it's
especially
awesome.
for sports.
All right, so leading so far, Maurice is keeping score, or Sam is on our monitor here. We have France in first place. I don't know. I like that Spanish call.
I know
an awful lot. But Casey, where would you put the United Kingdom with?
That was
France?
good too.
You loved that one.
Yeah, I did. Okay, so I'm throwing UK. Before we played the Spanish one, I would put UK in third behind Brazil, but I'm throwing Spain in second place.
In second place, then where does Brazil go?
Brazil goes
We'll
now
move
to
to
third.
Okay.
That's my personal vote.
This is Casey's picks. All right, next, another English-speaking call. This is Australia.
Okay.
Let's see how they do. Here we go. Nope, hang on. Oh,
It's quiet.
There's a little delay there. Here we go.
Rolls out to the right. Looks downfield. Interception. He is rattled. And it's on down the field. The Eagles looking for the pick six. They're in. Cooper DeJean. Huge moments.
Sort of perfunctory.
That guy's Australian, by the way. The growling guy. If you've never seen it, he's Australian. All right.
I think you're going to like this one.
All right,
Preston.
here. This is China. China in American football.
Yeah.
Interesting. Here we go.
3档16跑出口袋，被超截了，马霍姆斯被超截了，就在中间位置还在回攻，20码，10码，要打架了！生日快乐，库珀德基！马霍姆斯连吃2次超截之后，这次贸然的出手，直接让老鹰来了一个 pick six。
Do you say something about Jason Momoa?
I thought I heard Godzilla in there.
Godzilla is Japanese.
I know.
Yeah.
That's weird. Wait, in the beginning? Where did you
Right in the middle. I'm pretty sure I heard.
3档16跑出口袋，被超截了，马霍姆斯被超截了，就在中间位置还在回攻，20码，10码，要打架了！
Godzilla.
Jason Momoa, Godzilla.
Hang on.
10码，要打架了！生日快乐，库珀德基！
I don't know if it's Godzilla.
Probably not, but that's what I hear.
Case, I was a little underwhelmed by that
Yeah,
one.
you know what? It's better with the video.
By the way,
Yeah.
it might be their mic technique, but it sounds like they're blowing out the.
There's some overmodulation there. All right, here's our next one. This is from Mexico. Let's see how they did.
Mexico.
El CR16 por avanzar. Sale de la bolsa, tira y es interceptado. Roba el balón de King. Y va a la 20, va a la 10, va a la 5 y tiene el touchdown. Celebrando su cumpleaños, el novato de King.
I would say that España was a much more energetic.
Spain? Yeah, I agree. All right, we have two more to go.
All right.
Or no, one more. We already did the American, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that's the Kevin Burkhardt or not. It is? Okay, yeah, so we started with America. America first.
And then here's the last one that we have. This is in Canada. They're making the play-by-play. Here we go.
Mahomes lance le ballon et c'est intercepté. Cooper DeJean avec l'interception, la recrue à la ligne de 15, de 10, de 5. Bingo! C'est un touché par les Eagles. Cooper DeJean.
Their French sounds definitely less what's the word I'm looking for?
It sounds much more American. I mean, French Canadian
dialect.
French Canadian does not sound very French. It sounds like an English speaking person speaking French.
Yeah,
it's less lyrical.
I never knew that.
Last night I was watching the game from Montreal, the hockey game, the international four-team tournament, and they sang the national anthem in both French Canadian and in English. And the woman who was singing it was an English-speaking Canadian person, and when she sings it in French, it does not really sound lyrically French. It sounds like an English person speaking French.
Interesting.
Well, there you go.
All right, those are cool, Casey. Thanks for sharing that.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate that.
Hear the French one again?
Because that's I think that's number one, right?
And there's all sorts of
there's screaming and
sounds that aren't even a language.
I do like the reverb on the one guy.
Yeah.
Where was he?
In the bathroom?
Brazil.
I want to hear that one again too. Nick, what were you going to say?
Do we have Oscar's call? Because Oscar was the Spanish language just for the Eagles. Like, it's not a Mexican call or anything like that. Okay.
I don't know. So here is this is the French one, and then I want to hear the Brazilian.
Sur troisième tentative et 16 yards, Patrick Mahomes en quête d'un jeu. L'interception avec...
It's the dude in the
The
back.
dude, that's the guy.
As the other guy, and then we want to hear the other guy in French saying, "Would you shut up? I'm trying to call. I'm trying to call the game here."
En quête d'un jeu. L'interception avec la relance peut-être jusqu'au touchdown. Toujours debout avec la possibilité de battre le dernier défenseur. Et le touchdown des Eagles de Philadelphie. Cooper DeJean.
I love
The color commentator guy, it sounds like he's an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
He seems fired up that the Eagles, and I think all of the international calls are better than the American call.
Do me a favor and stop screaming in my ear.
Bring up the Brazilian one more time. The guy with the reverb unit in the bathroom here.
Se afastou bastante, Mahomes largou o braço pro meio, interceptação! E o retorno pode ser fatal! O retorno pode ser
I love that. That might be my favorite. I'm not sure, but nonetheless, some great calls all the way around. That's really cool. Nice. All right. Well, listen, we do have to take a break. A reminder. Yeah, we're on the parade route tomorrow. We're going to be at the Cambria Hotel broadcasting live. So if you know where that is, it's between Locust and Walnut on Broad. Wave to us. Say hi. Yes. We're gonna be in the balcony, just above everybody.
We should be easily seeable. We're not. Last time we did it, we're up how many floors? 12.
Oh my God! Yeah, we were way up there.
So we're right there.
It's gonna be. I would imagine it's gonna be a packed balcony. We're gonna be there. Our sister station is gonna be there. The Fanatic, but also people who stay in the hotel.
Yeah.
But we hope to see you at some point tomorrow. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Come back in a second, and we will. Tiptoe through the bizarre files together. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve.
You can't get into a lot of theaters, but I'm playing a bunch of theaters and a bunch of casinos. And I mean, the Hard Rock one, Live Nation called, said we want you to be the first person to open it because we want it to be a festival that people can bring their kids to. I said, well, it's 21 and up and it's a casino. So, right. Unless you got a 15-year-old with a mustache and a fake ID, it ain't going to happen.
Are you just going to be in and out to AC and then back, or are you going to be able to spend some time in Philly? I mean, it's still restricted.
No, I wish I could. I've got to come back because I'm doing a show on a rooftop in San Francisco on 420 with a bunch of stoners.
Nice.
With Jeff Ross and a bunch of really, really funny people and proteges and friends of Dave Chappelle. So I'm doing that. And then I go back to Irvine, California. They're opening the Irvine Improv. But again, it's like a 500-seat venue. It's going to be 190 capacity. So but it's not a drive-in. It's not a drive-in.
It's not a drive-in. And 25% becomes 50%, becomes 75%, and we get back to it. And so
it happens. Getting out there, man. I can't. It's hard to explain. I know Bill must have been excited. We have the same publicist, and Bill is over the moon. Going back, did he exude that, or was he exhausted from the press?
We've had longer with you than we had with him. He had to get to quickly.
He was like, I gotta go. There's another guy. I gotta call Detroit, and I'm really angry about this guy. I don't know who he is, but I don't like him. I don't think he talks like Joe Pesci.
It was a good.
He's literally. Please go ahead. Sorry.
No. Yeah, that was spot on. But in fact, that's kind of the way he talks. But he's great. He's always been very, and with you again, let's people be reminded that you were been a participant in the Camp Out for Hunger, and you've been generous with your time and just donations and stuff like that. So you were always
whatever you ask me to do, I will do it. I try to do everything I can to help as many people.
You've been phenomenal. Yes. We appreciate
I have been, and I will continue to be, even though Bill thinks I don't have long to live.
Apparently,
he has the best drive-in story because he said he did a drive-in, and instead of heckling, the lady drove off. He just drove off.
Who was talking about that? I think Jim Gaffigan or somebody was talking about it. That just the quiet hum of an engine as the car just leaves.
It's worse than someone walking out.
It's worse than someone walking out. Yeah.
Nice. You guys are lucky because you get to talk. Besides being as popular as you are, come on, let's face it, you are, and you look really good too. You're both incredibly handsome, and you get unusually groomed for early in the morning. I have to admit, and you know that I slept in these clothes, and I look very groomed. But you get to talk to so many people when I see your lineup because following you guys, it's like wow, it's all my friends. You know? You have Tom Pop on. You have people that are just wonderful.
Well, you are doing likewise. Your podcast, which I enjoy as well. And is that a nice rest, diversion for you as well? Because you're a good interviewer yourself.
I've gotten to be better, but thank you. I'm not you guys, but I'm on my 89th show. But Monday is Ben Folds, and this week I had Candace Cameron Bure, my TV daughter DJ. From Full House.
Gotta tell you, I adore her, and I have fallen in with the veracity of a crack addict to the Hallmark Christmas movies that she does, and
She's
the Hallmark
the Queen of Christmas.
Yes, she's awesome. She's so good.
Well, it's interesting because you do a podcast these days, and because there's not that many outlets, there's the late night shows that they run the clips, there's SNL clips. Otherwise, if you want humor, you go to a podcast or sensational news. So E! News picked up yesterday a story about Candace being on my podcast, just talking about people make fun of her for being so perky. That was a news story. That's where we're at.
Perkiness.
Perky.
This just
people are cynicism comes, and the pain that people are having comes out of what we've been living through, which is being locked up.
Yeah.
But it's a problem when the younger people, and I feel like I am one of them.
Yeah.
People go, well, you're an old man and we're Gen Z. And I'm like, no, you guys don't get it. My stand-up isn't as blue as it is. It's like a 12-year-old or 10-year-old learning bad words.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is. I mean, the word wiener comes out. Just the word, by the way.
Okay. Right.
But that's the interesting part is you can make with a podcast, I'm able to have that outlet this year, and I've had such wonderful guests. I've had Tiffany Haddish to Jake Tapper to Bill Burr to Jason Sudeikis to Whoopi. It's just been able, and then dear friends that I sparred with like Gilbert and Lovitz, and and I'm just going to keep doing it forever. I mean, I have no reason not to. It's once a week, and I love it.
Well, there's been, and we've talked about this. There's been again, and I must have said this 100 times over the past year, that there's going to be some things that are going to actually, that we found, hey, this is a way we can do this. The way we're doing this right now with you, Bob, on the Zoom setup is something that was in the works, but we were forced to accelerate it. And so here we are doing that. So there are going to be some bright spots. And I think the fact that it accelerated you doing something that you're enjoying is a glass half full aspect to something that's been so profoundly unpleasant.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. This would be a dial. I'd be calling you on the phone. And now you get good quality audio. I'm on a podcast mic, and I'm able to I did Kevin Hart's new podcast that'll be on next month. And it becomes like you're in studio talking with your friend.
Right.
And as you know, that's what broadcasting is. You're just being yourself and talking with your friend or a person that you feel like, oh, I'm a person too.
That's right.
What I was getting at is the cynicism is what's ripping us apart. It's, it's where people, no matter what you say, people, if John Lennon said all you need is love, they would go, oh yeah, right. Canceled.
Right. It's
Cancel
bizarre,
him.
man.
Love. I don't have love. Canceled. But
I think your angle, your take on it is exactly right. And with Bob Saget's in the world and the planned Dirty Work sequel.
I never mentioned that. I never said a word. Saget, why are you talking about it? The ink's not even dry. Shut up. My bad Norm impression.
Well, up next is this weekend at the Hard Rock at the Edis Arena, Saturday. There's 2 shows, 7 and 10 p.m., and you can get the tickets at bobsaget.com, and we'll post information, make it very easy for you to do that. Bob, it is always wonderful to have you on, man.
You guys are so great, and I will want to be in studio again. When I come home to Philly,
That's
I want to hang out with you guys for about 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, we can do that. I was going to say all morning, but,
3 or 4 days.
3 or 4 days works. We can make that happen.
Look at how groomed you are. You're going to smell good. I'm fine with it. The worst is when you show up, and you're in some New York Sirius radio station, and wow, I shouldn't have said that.
No,
but everybody's got BO because they're a morning shock radio, and they're not. You guys are clean.
We're clean.
Only one of us is BO.
Well, I'll have to guess. I'll know when I get there.
She is normally clean otherwise.
We love you, Bob.
Love you too.
Thanks, man. We got to go. Bob Saget! The one and only. God, I love that guy.
You could talk to him for hours.
He's one of the most naturally funny guys that I've ever met. He's just the best.
His stand-up is so freaking funny.
Yep, it's sharp. Hey, the Oscars were last night. How about all of that? So yeah, they had a red carpet and the full deal. The documentary feature went to My Octopus Teacher.
Yay!
It's been mentioned several times on the show, so wanted to throw that in there. Accepting was the octopus. Wow. And there was no wrap-up music. He just kept sucking and clicking and doing that whole thing for a long time. So,
Is that him walking up?
Suction cups, yeah.
That's him walking up to the podium. It was awkward, but listen, I mean, he was the star of the film. So.
It is a hell of a movie if you get a chance to see it. Think of a nomad land, but with sea creatures.
They really should have put the octopus in the in memoriam section. I don't know why they didn't.
Did he die?
Well, he's an octopus. I mean, the movie came out like 2 years ago.
How long does your average octopus live?
I'll bet
the length of a documentary movie.
I'll bet they live longer than you think.
No,
they don't. They live like a year.
They don't.
Really?
Yeah, watch the movie.
Oh,
Wait,
you saw it too, Kathy?
Yeah,
I saw the movie, and I don't remember that shocking piece of news.
That's sad.
What?
Poor thing.
All right,
Well, maybe
I'm
it was
check it out.
3 to 5 years.
3 to 5
All right,
years.
see, they're already getting longer lives.
See, he can still
1 year.
He could have accepted the award.
I wouldn't have wasted time with this dickhead then if I was an actor. I got a little living to do, baby.
All right, Yolanda Hadid
I know Yolanda.
is in love with. Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome.
In love with her daughter Gigi Hadid's daughter Kai.
So she loves her granddaughter?
She does.
Oh, my
Steve.
God.
I told
So
you.
who got the scoop on this
The
one?
news is big here this morning.
Wow.
Don't go to press yet.
Yeah.
I've got something.
She shared a tribute.
Yolanda Hadid, granddaughter.
Breaking news.
She,
Do you have a source that can confirm this? I'm not going with this unless you have corroboration.
well, they heard from an octopus that actually.
In a parking garage.
Yeah.
The octopus was in the shadows, but
I have it on good authority that Yolanda Hadid loves her granddaughter.
Oh my God!
would you go on record with that?
You are people who don't want this information out.
Oh my God!
He's scared, man.
I'm very scared.
And then he just walked away. That's my new favorite thing. The octopus walking away. In a cavernous room with lots of reverb so you can hear it.
I can see you're an octopus. Even in shadow.
He's got a trench coat on.
He doesn't even need a trench coat. He's got like this amazing camouflage.
Listen, he's running now. Oh, man. Yeah, Casey just blends in with the floor.
It's amazing.
A dove formerly owned by Prince has passed away.
Yeah. Well, he was big into the doves when doves cry.
Of course. But I didn't know that he had, this particular dove was named Divinity.
Yeah.
Female white dove owned by Prince. She died on Tuesday following a recent decline in her health due to her age. She was 28 years old.
That is an exceptionally old dove.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a cat that lived to 22, and that seemed like an eternity for a pet lifespan.
Yes.
But listen, I know that some birds like African greys and so on can live for like 80 years.
Absolutely.
But I
They
didn't think
usually outlive their owners.
But I didn't think a dove had that kind of a shelf life, for lack of a better
I bathed
term.
in the purifying waters of Lake Minnetonka. And
That must have been
what
what
I
did it.
attribute my longevity to.
Well, longevity for divinity.
Following Prince's death in 2016, Divinity remained at his Paisley Park and could be seen during the tours of his former estate.
Divinity conducted the tours.
According to the executive director of the Paisley Park.
MMR.
Before we get into the bizarre file, two quick shout outs. I got this one from Karen Woodhull, and she says, "Hey, Preston, want to give my husband, Blake Woodhull, a shout out on his 59th birthday. Longtime listener, even introduced me to your show many, many years ago. His birthday is February 12th, but any day that week or next will be appreciated. He had given blood. The blood drives. We donate and come to the Camp Out for Hunger. We've attended the Christmas Miracle and even saw you at Pickledelphia at Xfinity this year." She said he won the tickets from MMR. Please celebrate the last year of his 50s with a juicy shout out. So here you go. Happy birthday to you, bud. And then finally it says, "Hey, can you," and I'm a day late on this. This is from our friend Julie Jerkoff from our YouTube community. And she says, "Can you please give a birthday shout out on Wednesday the 12th to our YouTube buddy, Dead R2D2, a.k.a. Rob." And she says, "Hope you have a fabulous day, R2. I'm so grateful to call you my friend. Love you, Julie Jerkoff."
I love that. I love that whole community.
Yeah, and I have a birthday shout out, and I'm 3 days late with this, so I apologize because this is for my future goddaughter. Her name is Lauren, and she celebrated her 10th birthday on Monday. Lauren, my future goddaughter, happy belated birthday.
Your future goddaughter? Okay.
Yeah, so I was at an event at, I believe, Rita's Water Ice, and Lauren and her mom, Stephanie, stopped by to say hello, and she asked me that when her godfather passes away, if I will be her godfather.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I said,
and
yes.
he's not looking too good right now, so the odds are pretty solid.
Well, he is a little bit older,
Oh, yeah.
so,
Yeah. You'll let it happen naturally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let us share some bizarre file stories.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, we'll start with this. When her ex threatened to call police during an argument, a woman pulled out a dildo and began striking the man with it, according to Florida police, who arrested the alleged sex toy attacker for domestic battery.
Now, we have some dildos that could cause damage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Cops were dispatched Sunday to a Fort Pierce residence in reference to a disturbance in progress involving a 50-year-old man and a woman named Julissa Negron.
Put the dildo down.
The victim told police that Negron was briefly staying with him while she gathered clothing before relocating from Puerto Rico to Connecticut to start her life over. While Negron was well-behaved, a day earlier, the victim told police she was drinking alcohol, resulting in her acting disorderly, and started arguments about who he follows on Instagram.
That's always the culprit.
And at one point, Negron allegedly began to get in the victim's face, which he believes was to antagonize him. When the man warned that he would call 911, she pulled out a dildo and began to hit him with it. The dildo, or its prior location, is not further described in the arrest report, which does not indicate whether police confiscated the alleged weapon. When cops arrived at the man's home, he warned that Negron was inside naked and would, quote, flash officers. The man also explained a history of Negron's abusiveness prior to her leaving for Puerto Rico to the point where he needed to leave his own home. Negron was reportedly agitated, disorderly, and smelled of alcohol when police arrived. She was arrested at the scene and subsequently booked into the county jail on a misdemeanor battery count. A Sydney, Australia restaurant owner who sells gag fortune cookies has been told to censor her products after an awkward factory mix-up. Najee Chu, the owner of a popular Vietnamese restaurant called Lady Chu, put through an order of profanity-laced fortune cookies for Valentine's Day. She was shocked and slightly tickled to receive a response from her manufacturer, who said that they were no longer accepting offensive language after her messages were mistakenly mixed into other customers' orders.
Uh-oh.
And she had said, listen, it was for my customers within the context of me and my brand. If you're getting it mixed up with other restaurants, that's not my fault.
And she's right.
In an email, the manufacturer said their other customers were quite upset to find Chu's messages inside their custom cookies at the end of last year. As a result, management have decided to no longer accept customized orders with offensive or expletive words.
Yeah, they are the ones that screwed the things up.
Chu was told that she could order empty cookies from her supplier and insert the funny messages herself, and she hit back at the manufacturer in an email after her joke fortunes were rejected. Some of the fortune messages included, like this first one said, the year of the snake bears good fortune. Your divorce is coming soon. Or my favorite one, which is, I only married you for your money, you ugly C word.
Oh my God.
That's a good one.
I kind of like that one. Yeah.
Chu said her Valentine's Day order was not fulfilled, and she's been stuck inserting the messages into the cookies herself for February 14th. We bought one time, it was for Parker's 21st birthday, we bought fortune cookies that had obscene messages in them. And dude, they were like that.
Like that?
Like the C word
Where'd
one.
you get them?
Rochelle found them online.
All right.
And they were hilarious.
Yeah.
We were cracking them open on the way to dinner and just laughing our asses off. I mean, they were insanely profane. It's a great idea.
Am I the only one? I love the taste of fortune cookies.
So, I like some of them.
I
Some
like
of them
them
are bitter, but the ones from P.F. Chang, spot on.
And I love them with Chinese tea.
Okay.
I don't like. Well, listen, I think the flavor's fine. I just hate the texture. I think they're too crunchy.
Crispy?
Too crunchy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
South Holland police are investigating a strange case of cats that are returning home with shaved patches. A number of owners have reported their pets return home with missing fur, although otherwise unhurt. Inspector Matt Dickinson said this behavior is completely unacceptable. Whatever the motivation behind this is, it's not something that should be taking place.
Dickinson, we're putting you on the shaved pussies.
Yes, that's right. There is no clue as to the reason behind the incidents. He said, Inspector Dickinson said, anyone who is evidenced to be responsible for doing this will have a robust action taken against them and, where necessary, be prosecuted for any criminal offenses identified. South Holland Police shared information on the Facebook page where comments suggested that there had been previous episodes of this happening, by the way. A United Airlines red-eye flight bound for Chicago diverted to Denver after a burly man repeatedly sprang up from his seat, walked to the front of the aircraft, and argued with the crew members, eventually demanding that the Mormon passengers on board be identified.
Okay.
It was on Sunday night.
He's had enough.
United Airlines flight 1484 took off from San Francisco for Chicago, but shortly into the flight, a man began acting strangely. He got up frequently, walked into the front of the aircraft. He got in the face of the flight attendants. They argued. He raised his voice, and he also demanded to know where the Mormons were on board.
You're in that helicopter, and you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist, and I'm after you, buddy.
Another passenger said at some point it escalated into a big physical altercation, and several passengers had to rush to out of their seats to help the crew pin down this person and get him restrained.
All right, the Jesuits.
He is still on the floor being pinned down by 4 people. Captain just announced that we were diverting to Denver. It's not clear, by the way, whether the passenger was a Mormon himself. Many members of the church, colloquially referred to as Mormons, do not drink alcohol. And he said, this commenter said, I must admit that this passenger appeared sloshed. Unfortunately, the delay became a real inconvenience. The flight landed in Denver after just 2 a.m. and sat on the ground until after 7 a.m.
Such a unique experience. You don't know what you're going to get from the sea of humanity. What's going to be trapped in a tube with you as you're hurtling through the sky.
I tell you, every time I get on a plane now, I'm like, okay, am I going to see one of these
Does
meltdowns?
this guy like Mormons or not?
All right, and then finally, a woman who allegedly squashed a sweet bun at a convenience store in Japan says she was just trying to check its firmness. She was arrested on suspicion of destruction of property.
The truth is, I just wanted to squash it.
The incident occurred at a convenience store in the southwestern Japan city of Sawara Ward. The wrapping of the bun wasn't torn, but because the squashed bread didn't return to its original shape and couldn't be sold, police had judged that the 40-year-old woman's actions constituted destruction of property before arresting her on the spot.
Preston, I can speak to this because when I was 4 years old, I got in trouble at the King Cullen supermarket for crushing hamburger rolls.
Yeah. Yep.
It
So
happens,
same
man.
thing.
I was going down a wrong path.
So the woman, a self-proclaimed unemployed resident, is specifically accused of squashing one sweet bun with a retail price of $1.19. The woman has reportedly denied the allegation, saying, "I only pressed it lightly in my hand to check the firmness of the bread." But police said products had been squashed at the convenience store several times in the past, and the 39-year-old owner had been on the lookout for any similar cases. The woman is said to have picked up a package of 4 buns and squashed one of them with her right thumb. The owner checked the bread and then restrained the woman when she left the store without buying the damaged product.
Give me a few minutes. I'm going to sweat this bitch.
And that is what I have in the bizarre file for you this morning. We are going to take a quick break. We'll come back in a moment. We do have one guest on the show later on with a very, very interesting side hustle.
Yeah,
so we'll talk to them in a little bit. We'll get into some other things. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve.
Tours said Divinity's Beautiful Coup has welcomed visitors since Paisley Park first opened its gates to the public in October 2016. She was one of the enduring links to Prince for thousands of fans. She will be missed.
I would love to go to Paisley Park.
Me too.
I read there was a really fascinating article. Prince started writing an autobiography, and he hired a writer to help him write it. And so a year or so before he died, the writing process began, and the writer spent a lot of time in Paisley Park. And I've gained so much more of an appreciation for Prince after his death, which makes me feel guilty for some weird reason. But just everything that went into Paisley Park and his life is really amazing.
I was just watching a replay of yesterday of him at the Super Bowl when he did the halftime. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I've his version along with Danny Harrison and Tom Petty of "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" from Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony years ago is just unbelievably great.
The outside of Paisley Park looks like a
school or a warehouse.
Yeah, you would not. You would have no idea.
What I haven't seen are pictures of the inside.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, it's like a modern Graceland. Like it's Prince through and through.
Our old boss has been to parties there, Jim McGuinn, because he's a program director in Minneapolis, and that's where it is.
That's cool.
So yeah, I would
Elevator
love to go
inside and all the whole deal.
So in addition to Divinity, Prince also owned a dove named Majesty, which, according to reports, were quiet. Both of them were quiet in the immediate days following his death, but they perked up after hearing his music.
I don't want to talk.
And a new generation of doves will continue to live on.
This is what it sounds like when doves cry. I'm gonna throw up.
That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds
when
like.
Doves cry.
Yeah, they were upset about Prince's death.
I swear to God, I'm gonna throw up.
Oh my God! Hey, are doves the same things as pigeons?
No.
No,
They're related.
They are related.
Yeah, they're in the same bird family.
That's what I mean.
If you look at their license, there's a delineation.
Okay.
My dad and I used to go dove hunting regularly. We used to blast those things out of the sky.
Dude, I mean, come on.
We'd eat them.
I know, but still, it's like puppy hunting. You know? It's so nice and cute and peaceful.
They're different than the ones that you see. They're gray
They
colored
kill
ones.
families.
Okay.
Yes.
They are all tatted up.
He was doing service to the families of Kentucky.
They are literally the symbol for peace, however.
Yes.
I was completely eaten by a dove today. Anyone kill them for us.
Son, we got work to do.
We beat it to death with an olive branch.
I have a hair change story that
That's a cool sound effect.
After splitting from her fiance, Dale Moss, Bachelorette alum Claire Crawley is ready for love and a new pink hairdo.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
I saw it.
Yeah?
I've not seen it.
It's not over the top.
It's not crazy hot
It's
pink.
light. She
Okay.
says she wanted to show that she could do something crazy.
Okay.
As we observed, everything she's done shows she can do something crazy.
Oh, you're right. It's a nice pink. It's like an ombre.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. She didn't go. I was thinking like shocking. Like Katy Perry when she had super pink hair. Anyway.
Getting the tattoo of Florida on her forehead.
Did you see that guy?
I did.
Yes. He's got a tattoo of the state right on his forehead.
Ridiculous.
All righty, buddy. Source tells us she sees her time spent with Dale as something of her past and is ready to move forward.
It helped me to learn about myself.
So she has pink hair now.
Okay, the ombre's good. I kind of prefer the Ganon, bro.
What's the Ganon?
Come on,
Come on, bro.
Keep going. Do it. Finish it.
I'm not finishing
Come on.
It's Ganon, bro. I like the up dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Here's the tattoo of the Florida, by the way.
That looks good.
Oh, man, what is going on?
I know. We have a monitor that's normally in front of us. It doesn't work, and I can't see the photos when they come up. But yes, that's just brilliant. Best performance by an actress in a motion picture drama went to Andra Day for The United States versus Billie Holiday. And overall best motion picture drama went to Nomadland. So there you go. That's our first foray into a very strange awards year.
It was. You know what was one of the weirder things, Preston? At certain points when they were going into a commercial and they had the nominees, they'd put the nominees up and they'd bring up their microphones so that they could sort of like talk and like. And there was, did you see Case? I don't know, because there was a point where Pacino was up for something and they were all, hi, Mr. Pacino, I'm a big fan of yours. And there's this cross talk that's not, no one was overseeing it. It was just like you were listening in on a Zoom call.
Wait, so the crosstalk was between the fellow nominees?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So they did that a couple times. If they ever do this again, they should not do that again.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, right?
It's very weird. And I'm like, is something supposed to be happening?
What was great, though, is when Soul won for best, I think it was best animated, who do you call it? Tracy Morgan pronounced it as Saul, right? He goes, and the winner is, and he goes, Saul. And then there was no reaction because there was no movie called Saw.
Right.
And then he realized that he had made the mistake. And then they had cut to the, it was for best original song. But either way, the actors, it was Sudeikis, it was the people that were up for the next award.
Right.
They were having a ball with it. They were cracking up. Don Cheadle was making fun of them, and it was really, really.
I think Pacino didn't realize that he was still on the Zoom call because he was standing in the doorway pleasuring himself.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh no, you
How
don't do
awkward
that.
is that?
It feels so good.
Right.
Well, I didn't see that clip. But I did see. I saw a clip.
I'm gonna shout!
Oh my God!
Splat.
All over my walls and when my children play with their toys. You were expecting something like that. There were a few people who clearly were not quite up to speed on the tech.
I'm gonna shoot over here.
That was good.
Oh man!
Right after that.
Yes. Sorry, Nick.
No. This is also comedic. He fell asleep.
What?
Did he?
Yeah.
Was he asleep on camera, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, don't you usually fall asleep right afterwards?
Everybody's sleepy, you know, and you've expanded yourself. So the camera pans across his screen, and listen, his eyes are closed, and he looks like he might have not actually have been asleep, but he looked like he was sleepy.
That was so much fun pleasuring myself.
Oh no, the poor guy. Getting old.
I don't feel so good.
That's hilarious.
I'm up and out.
So, according to a new survey presented by the Water Quality and Health Council, 51% of Americans reported using a swimming pool as a communal bathtub, using the pool as an alternative to showering or rinsing off after engaging in exercise or yard work or whatever it may be. Even though 64% of Americans know that pool chemicals don't eliminate the need to shower. People continue to do it anyway. By the way, the survey comes as experts from the Council, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and, which I didn't know existed, the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance.
Oh, that's great. That's what Darth Vader faces off in the second movie.
Work to educate the public on healthy and safe swimming.
We shall crush the Pool Alliance.
Yes, my name is Mortimer Sanchez, and I'm with the Pool Alliance. And we think you're a bad leader.
The survey also revealed.
I don't care.
The survey also revealed that 24% of Americans would go into a pool within 1 hour of having diarrhea.
See, that's now listen. That's why public pools are just not my thing.
Spend all
However,
day on the toilet. You know what I need to do? I need to take a swim.
get some of that residual out.
To check the chlorine and pH levels for a personal public pool, the council is offering free pool test kits through its 15th annual Healthy Pools campaign on its website.
This is the Alliance.
This is the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance.
Did you mention in this story, Preston, particular sunblocks affecting?
I didn't mention this.
Okay. Go into the pool now.
Peter Cushing.
Moff Tarkin.
This is the finest pool you'll ever swim in.
What were you saying, Nick? Sunscreens?
Yeah, the reason that I bring it up is that I went on a snorkel, not a scuba,
Snookles
or a snorkel, but a snorkel.
It's the latest craze that's sweeping the beaches of America. Snookling.
Get some Beach Boys.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be
Good
great.
outside, hanging tan, snookling all day long.
Surfing USA, please.
Oh, sorry.
I know what the snookle is, if I may suggest.
And the snookle.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen.
Snookle USA.
Like California.
I'm such an idiot.
All right, anyhow.
Snorkeling.
Oh, yeah.
I went snorkeling, and you weren't allowed to wear.
Feel of a snookle at dawn.
You weren't allowed to wear the sunblock that you brought. You had to use the sunblock that they provided for you, and it's because the sunblock that most people wear is pretty damaging to the reef. And I was wondering if it would be damaging at all to like a pool filter or to the saltwater.
These are all good questions.
Whatever,
because some of the chemicals are pretty arch and can have that effect.
Yeah, and I've been snorkeling many times in my life, but this is the first time ever on a snorkel trip where I had to do this, and you weren't allowed to wear what you had, what you brought.
They provided.
They provided it for you.
Do you remember what it was? What type it was?
I don't. It was like an industrial vat.
It was called Reef Killer.
Yeah.
Reef Killer sunblock. A snookle, by the way, as you're snorkeling, has a second tube that goes up back onto the beach so that someone could load M&Ms into them so that you can eat.
You're hungry.
So that's what a snookle
Right, a
is?
snookle is a second food tube.
Okay.
So that you can swim longer.
Everybody wins.
That's great.
They do have snuba.
Snuba.
Snuba is legit.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Snuba.
Apparently,
Yeah.
snookle is legit as well.
Are you kidding
it?
me?
No, I'm serious.
If you can swim, you can snookle. Yeah, he's absolutely right. Snookle offers shallow dives.
Approximately 10 to 40 feet without cumbersome tanks and no diving certification necessary. That looks like snuba.
It does.
So what
A hose,
what
right?
they do is, they have a floating tank that stays above the water, and you basically take the regulator down, and it's a long tube, a long hose that you can breathe in. We're getting ready to get recertified to go into a refresher course for scuba to get set for our vacation. So I'm looking forward to it. But I'll ask about snookle.
Yeah.
Zombie raccoons. That's my thing.
Yes.
That clumsily walk on two legs.
Yeah,
All right, thank you very much, Nick. Real quick, just a reminder, Cardboard Classic is approaching quickly, Friday, February 20th. Is that a week from this Friday? No, it's
2 weeks from tomorrow.
From tomorrow. Man, oh man, oh man. Montage Mountain is where we'll be again. And once again, I want to remind you of a new addition to the prizes. We now have $1,000 for the best Tito's handmade vodka sled. So that's one of our big cash prizes for this thing. I mean, the event is about just being there and experiencing it, but we want to make sure that we have a little bit of motivation for people to put on some really cool interesting sleds. We've already seen some advanced stuff coming through, and the creativity and the craftsmanship, of course, is represented once again. So we're excited for this event, and you can be there for the whole thing. There's Mountain Fest as well that's going to be taking place. So right after we're done, they're going to go right into the party. From what I understand, it's the world's largest 80s party featuring a group called the M80s, which is a tribute to MTV. And so as soon as we finish, there's a stage right next to where the sleds sometimes crash into the building.
Yes, they do.
And then the stage is right there, and they're supposed to take over. So it's going to segue right into party time. And they have so much food. Do you remember the gigantic gyros that we saw people walking around with? I mean, they were huge. Biggest I've ever seen.
Everything there is done. If you've not been to
lobster
Montreux,
rolls.
Everything. Sensational.
Yeah. And so we'd like you to be there. And then, of course, the next day, Mountain Fest continues. Tonic and Better Than Ezra are playing. They have pond skimming and fireworks. Lift ticket is your concert ticket for that, so you can get those VIP tickets. They are on sale now. WMMR.com/cardboard classic. And it's not too late to get a sled together.
No.
If you want to do a tribute to the Eagles and Super Bowl, get on it.
You might
move now.
You could quite possibly be the crowd favorite. You know,
could be. So we'll see what that ends up being like, as we will obviously broadcast live from that. And Pierre will be there too. And I think is Jackie spinning? No, who's Brent Porsche? Will probably be spinning music. So it's going to be a damn good time. Just a reminder that is indeed happening. All right. We have not had a chance to expand our minds yet this week. So let's go to the Just Saying Institute and dive in, if you will.
The Just Saying Institute, home of the Preston Elliott Museum of Useless Dick Tracy Collectibles.
Listen, we need a whole museum for that.
Yes.
So I'd had this story for a couple of weeks, and each time we've gone to the Just Saying Institute, other stories have eked it out, and I wanted to make sure I mentioned this because scientists have discovered a never-before-seen giant sea bug after studying samples purchased from fishers in Vietnam.
I saw the picture of this thing.
Are you sure when did you see it?
About a week ago.
Okay, all right, then that's it. Because there's a new thing that popped up today that I didn't include in the JSI. Yeah,
it keeps getting worse.
But the Bathynomus vaderi belongs to the genus Bathynomus, which is a giant isopods that are abundant in cold, deep waters. It is a supergiant, weighing 2.2 pounds and growing up to 12.8 inches long, making it one of the largest known isopods.
So to me,
this thing is scary looking.
Well, it looks like what Preston, like when they do those super microscopic shots of things that live in lint.
Yeah, or on your skin,
and they look terrifying.
Yeah,
this is 1,000 times bigger.
Yeah, this is 28 inches long. Or no, I'm sorry, 12.8 inches long. So it's over a foot long, and yeah, it's got the exoskeleton type thing like you would find on a lobster.
Right.
It looks like those flying things in the Avengers movie that comes out of the little wormhole. The
things that they're flying
the
on.
Achiri or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the species is named vaderi because its head resembles Darth Vader's helmet.
Okay.
So vaderi.
It sort of does, yeah.
So vaderi. B. vaderi has so far only been found near the Spratly Islands, which is an archipelago in the South China Sea, but it may also live in other parts of the South China Sea. For the new study, the team examined samples caught by local fisheries and found that a few specimens had distinctive physical features that mark them as a newfound species. So this is a brand new discovered species.
Listen, we talk about the vast amounts of our own planet, the ocean and the depths of the ocean that have not been explored. What is down there? And what looks worse than this thing?
By the way, the researchers noted that B. vaderi species have recently become a delicacy in Vietnam, often compared to lobster. Of course, yes, let's eat it.
Yeah.
Here's a weird thing we pulled out of the ocean. Let's eat it.
Let's eat it.
Look what I found. I'm going to eat it.
We've only found one. Let's eat it.
Yeah, eat it.
The local demand has turned these sea bugs into an expensive staple on the live seafood market, leading to increased fishing pressures in.
So, Case, now you're going to see a picture. In a human hand, Nick,
It's
how
massive.
about that mother effer?
Yep.
It's like the size of a small dog.
And now
not as obedient.
And looking at it from the front, it does look like Darth Vader in the head. By the way, Steve, the other thing that I saw this morning is video of a type of anglerfish. You know what those look like, right?
Yes.
The really deep sea thing with a giant mouth with the really spiky teeth and the thing coming out of its head. Right. Well, they found one of those. Now, you can't tell by the video the size of it because those things are usually smaller.
And didn't they find it at an uncommon depth? It was
well, that's the thing. It's very close to the surface. And those are normally really, really deep sea creatures. But that thing, Casey,
I saw it.
It's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
Yep. Here, we're looking at video of this. Yeah, that thing looks terrifying. Now, it might be really small. It's hard to say because I think those things aren't very big in the first place. But
do you know, oddly enough, though, these fish always take first place in gurning contests.
So it looks like just a head with a little bitty tiny tail coming out of its back. Those things are just nightmare fuel.
But the rows of their irregular teeth all sticking up. And, of course, that thing on their head is an actual lure.
Yeah. That's why they call it the anglerfish. And I think this is like a version or, one of them. I'm sure there's different
species
of anglerfish. I don't really know.
Does it ever close its mouth? Because we were. He's like,
I don't think so.
Rack ball.
I don't think so. All right. So I thought that was an interesting discovery. Here's another one. Experts have sounded the alarm about the weight loss drugs like Ozempic leaving users blind now.
Great.
Several studies have linked the shots to conditions that cause inflammation and block blood flow to the eye, causing severe and sometimes permanent vision loss. Now,
I feel great, and I'm walking into walls.
But it's a very small amount of people this has happened to. All right. Researchers have detailed 9 new reports of U.S. patients who went blind after taking semaglutide or tirzepatide, which are the active ingredients in Ozempic, Mounjaro, respectively. One woman injected 1 dose of semaglutide for her diabetes and woke up the next morning blind in her left eye. And this prompted her to stop the medication for 2 months.
How do I look?
Before her diabetes forced her to go back on it. And 2 weeks after that, she lost vision in her right eye as well. She had restarted the medication. Another woman who had been taking semaglutide for a year woke up one morning with a painless shadow over her left eye. Testing revealed blood vessels in her retina had become damaged, leading to blindness. And one suffered bleeding in his left eye after taking tirzepatide for a year. However, doctors told him to keep taking the drug due to lack of evidence linking his condition to weight loss shots. The expert said that while the exact cause is unclear, drugs like Ozempic, rapidly lowering blood sugar levels, could damage blood vessels in the eyes, leading to vision loss.
So there's a percentage of side effects cases like this that are supposed to cause sort of a spontaneous recall or reassessment of the drug. So I don't know how many people are currently using. It seems like there's a lot of people using Mounjaro and Ozempic. So this has got to be, as you said, a small percentage.
Yeah, and listen, a huge variety of drugs that you take have rare but possible side effects.
There are people that die every year from taking over-the-counter aspirin.
Yeah, it can happen. There are risks, but you have to weigh the risks of the potential benefit.
I saw an ad last night for some drug. I have no idea what it was or even what it was advertising, but it was if you're suffering side effects from this drug, take this drug instead.
Yeah.
It was like you're already taking one thing and you're having some side effects. Here's another thing for you to take. And then you get the list of warnings. It's a page and a half long. And the warning was like, if it doesn't take effect within the first 2 weeks, then you know that it's not working. And I was like, you got to wait 2 weeks to find out if the side effects are going to show up or not.
All right, well, let's go to an expert. He's calling in. He's asked us to tap him in.
Tap him in.
Fox 29 and Penn Medicine, we give you the amazing Dr. Mike Sirigliano. Hey, Dr. Mike.
What a great time to be in the city, huh?
Yeah, buddy. You're right there.
Now, look, so you're talking about a very rare condition, all right, that occurs. This study looked at 9 patients. Now, if you remember, 2 to 3% of the U.S. population is now taking one of these medications, whether it be Ozempic or Zepbound or Wegovy or Mounjaro. And so, yes, with any medication, if you have millions of people taking it, you're going to have some side effects. Now, this is not the only drug that can be associated with one of the conditions. It's actually a little like stroke of the optic nerve. That's what it is. And it can lead to permanent blindness in one eye, usually. But the thing is, you can even get this with Viagra. All right? So there are case reports of that.
Is that technically being cockeyed?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
So the bottom line is that, look, you have to, as Preston, you said so beautifully. All right, everything is a risk-benefit ratio, and the benefits from these medications are so amazing in terms of lengthening life, reducing risk of heart attack, stroke. Now there was just a study that came out about reduction in alcohol intake. So, and they're going to do it they're going to do studies on smoking cessation, helping people stop smoking, and other addictive substances. So it is a rare condition. Bottom line, if you are going to use these medications, you have to start in low doses and very slowly work your way up. And number two, if you have any vision changes, you need to let somebody know right away. And then the highest risk people are people over 50, people who have diabetes, people who have high blood pressure. And they, as you said, Preston, it's probably due to a rapid shift in the amount of glucose, and you have some damage to the vessel. But it's very rare, and I think that the benefits in most people are far greater than the risk.
So all of these are basically off the original label intent of these drugs, right? They, as with Viagra, the main purpose it was created for, it was not erectile dysfunction, but it became that. So that's why you had this massive shift towards these drugs now, and that's why diabetics were having trouble getting a hold of them, correct?
Well, in the beginning, but the supply chain issues have gone away. It's mainly, at least in my experience, an insurance issue now. The trying to get certain people on these medications that are clearly indicated can be a big challenge. And Nick, listen, to your point, I think the commercial you're talking about is a drug for tardive dyskinesia.
Yes. What is that?
Yeah, that's a condition you can get from some antidepressants, some other types of medications, and it is a real deal. And remember, Nick, the bottom line is you only take a medication if you have to. You don't take it because you think it's just
fun.
You don't do it cavalierly. So some people really, really, really need their medications for either schizophrenia or depression or any of that. And these involuntary movements can be very disconcerting. They can be very disheartening, and they can cause problems because people notice them.
Yeah.
And so this medication that's come out, I've never prescribed it. I don't. It's really not in my wheelhouse, but that medication is used to quell that side effect. So, look, if you have schizophrenia or you have severe depressive symptoms and you need treatment and you develop that side effect, it might not be unreasonable to try to treat that. But, look, sometimes it takes a couple weeks to kick in to see if its drug is actually going to work.
Well, I appreciate you clearing that up, and I totally understand where you're coming from. And listen, Mike, I am automatically and often reflexively cynical when it comes to these types of things, and that's on me. So it's good to hear.
That's good. Listen, let's be clear, all right? A savvy consumer is my best customer, all right? You know, Cy Sims, remember that? An educated consumer is my best customer. And I want people to always be a very good consumer of health care. You have to know your body. You have to know why somebody's doing something. And my most feared patient is the one that says, "Oh, Dr. Mike, whatever you say."
Right.
Oh my God!
You got to take it. Got to take control of your health. You've always said that.
You have to. Yep. And look, if you don't have someone that listens, you need to find someone that does listen.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line.
Like you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Mike.
Go Eagles.
Go Birds.
Go Eagles.
We love you, bud.
Love them.
Love all of us.
Love all of us, everyone. All right, thanks, Dr. Mike. All right, let's move on from that to something else. I saw this study that was done by, it was published in the Open Access Journal called BMJ Mental Health. Generally, things for most of us actually seem better in the morning, with clear differences in self-reported mental health and well-being across the day. So I guess I had to think about this because I always think of the morning as kind of a lousy time of day because you don't want to get up early. For those of us who have to get up really early, it definitely sucks.
I was just thinking about this. The phases I go through. Now I can compartmentalize, and I've had things that have been fairly heavy in my life, and people have had a billion times worse. But how I manage them and how I compartmentalize. So through the morning, out of the shower, getting ready, when I'm fully dressed, I enter a pretty good period. Coming in here, getting prep, getting everything done on time, I'm in a pretty good period. And then again, I think I hit the zone where it's like, okay, I'm enjoying this day is around 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Through to the evening. So
you're happy all the time.
It ebbs and flows. Yeah. It's very rare that I have a point in the day where I don't feel the hope, the promise, the joy.
People generally wake up. Well, you're the anomaly, Steve, because people generally wake up feeling the best frame of mind in the morning.
Okay.
But in the worst around midnight. The findings indicate with day of the week and season of the year also play a part.
Absolutely. So as a musician or whatever, when you were doing your deal, the midnight, 11 o'clock, when I was doing stand-up comedy, those were actually the kind of prime times.
Well, yeah, I think that's outside of the normal
norm.
person's schedule. Yeah, when we were playing shows late at night to 2 o'clock in the morning, midnight was friggin' awesome. That's just starting to get you buzz on. So anyhow, mental health and well-being are dynamic in nature and subject to change over both short and extended periods, according to the researchers. But relatively few studies have looked at how these might change over the course of a single day. And those studies that have included particular or only small groups they added. So the researchers wanted to explore whether time of day was associated with variations in mental health, depressive and or anxiety symptoms, happiness, life satisfaction, sense of well-being, worthwhile, stuff like that, loneliness. They wanted to find out if it changes through the day. And they also wanted to find out if it varied by season and year. So they analyzed data from the University College of London COVID-19 social study, which began in March 2020 and involved regular monitoring up until November 2021 and then additional monitoring in March 2022. Just giving you the parameters here. So complete information was available for 49,218 people. So it's a big study, 3/4 of whom were women. People educated to degree level above were also represented, while those from ethnic minority backgrounds were underrepresented at 6%. The sample was therefore weighted to reflect population portions. So a clear pattern of waking up in the morning feeling best and feeling worst around midnight is what they found. The influence of a day of the week was less clear-cut, with more variation in mental health and well-being during weekends than on weekdays. Happiness, life satisfaction, and worthwhile ratings were all higher on Mondays and Fridays than on Sundays.
Sunday's not a good day.
Sunday scaries.
And happiness was also higher on Tuesdays, but there was no evidence that loneliness differed across days of the week. There was clear evidence of a seasonal influence on mood, however. Compared with winter, people tended to have lower levels of depressive anxiety symptoms and loneliness and higher levels of happiness, life satisfaction, and feeling that life was worthwhile in other seasons. So winter sucks is what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's a given, right? The cabin fever months.
Yeah, less sunlight, all that stuff. And mental health was best in summer across all outcomes. But the season didn't affect the associations observed across the day, however. So it didn't matter what season you were in. That day model of morning being best, night being worst is still there.
Yeah, days like today are really difficult. I mean, when it's this foggy and there's no sun, I'll take tomorrow where it's supposed to be sunny and you get, even if it's colder or windy or whatever, any day of the week, that's better for me. But I'll tell you what, honestly, over the last few years, At this time of year, when it's depressing and challenging being out there, two things that I love looking forward to. Cardboard Classic, because it's fun and you see so much inventiveness, and the listeners' responses are incredible. And then beyond that, spring training. And like being able to go to Florida this time of year, or having that even on the horizon, is such a wonderful thing to look forward to.
Well, learning how to set little things in your calendar that you have to look forward to. And it can be any one of a number of things.
Yeah.
But that's, I find this sort of reinforces what I perceive about how we are throughout the day, Preston. It's kind of a standard thing. Yeah, being aware of it helps.
It said that if you're aware of and it's at night and you're beat and you are feeling kind of off, maybe you can make yourself feel better. Going, okay, this is the time of day to feel this. But they said that it has to do with there's associations with the body clock. Cortisol peaks shortly after waking and reaches its lowest levels around bedtime. However, it's important to acknowledge the differences between weekends and weekdays, they said.
Yeah, it's really, really hard for me to get going on a Saturday or Sunday morning. And I sleep in. Like, I'm usually up by like 8, 9 o'clock on Saturday or Sunday morning. But, man, does it take me hours to actually get motivated to do anything, whether it's work around the house or exercise or anything along those lines. And that's why I'm so grateful for having a job, a purpose for when I get up during the week.
I agree. Now I'm a little bit more. I get up early even on the weekends, and I'm up and running. And that's just I force myself to do that, because if I don't, it's going to be an S show, as they say. But having the difference I found between, again, working from home when I did that for a while and having a destination to get to, having that part of that schedule, getting up, I've got to get up, get dressed, and get out is and having that obligation helps.
What do you feel guilty, Casey, if you're inactive on a Saturday or Sunday morning?
Yeah. I mean, but for a while, though.
I think you should be less hard on yourself, because like, you work your ass off during the week. You've been really dedicated about going to the gym and improving your health. And our schedules during the week are challenging. So I think you can give yourself a little bit of a respite on the weekends and take this advice for whatever it's worth. But like, allow that for yourself.
Yeah. If you do want to change, I don't know if this would help you or not, but this is what I do on the weekends, and it's helped me out, is that I get up and I immediately make a list. I write it down. It's actually on a it's called a boogie board. It's a digital thing. It's on the wall, and I write the list of the things I want to achieve for the day.
Okay.
And the reason I get on them right away is because I want that slate to be clean.
That's what I do.
And then I want nothing else to do.
That's what I do.
And then I can therefore enjoy what I do. So I make that list as soon as I get up, and I get great satisfaction and walking over and crossing those things off the list. Then I got nothing to do the rest of the day. It's awesome.
The rest of the day to spank it.
Yeah.
To spank it.
Oh, yeah.
And smoke it.
And smoke it. And stroke it.
So I don't know if you want to try that or not, but it works for me.
Make a
Probably
list.
not.
That sounds like work.
I know, right? All right, here's another thing. Now, not only do we cover studies at the Just Saying Institute, but inventions as well. British inventor Richard Browning, founder of Gravity Industries, and I have not looked at this yet.
Already been invented.
I've only read the study, the story. So he has developed a jet suit that allows someone to fly like Iron Man. The suit uses 5 small jet engines that let the wearer take off and move through the air up to 20 feet off the ground at over 85 miles an hour.
So we're not talking about the jets. You see the guy where he's sort of on each side. There are 2. They appear to be rockets that he holds down. It'll lift him up, and you can move a la Iron Man, but not exactly like Iron Man. We're not talking that.
I don't know. You'd have to pull up Gravity Industries.
See this.
And see what Richard Browning, if anybody wants to do a quick search and see if there's any pictures or video. But I know the one you're talking about, Steve.
This seems different.
Yeah, I don't know. The technology is being considered for military use, such as quickly boarding ships or reaching difficult areas. Browning's company has a deal with 2 countries to provide these suits to special forces, aiming to improve how soldiers move during missions.
So I've seen them fly from like a rescue craft onto a ship in motion, and the guy takes off from the deck. And to me, it's like almost like holding yourself up on parallel bars. Like if you have any sort of upper body strength, then you can do that, and most people can. Any one of these guys are in shape. And then there's that thing also, Preston, which blows my mind, is the flying platform. You've seen those, right? So this is
Maybe.
what I'm talking about.
Is this the Richard Browning guy? This is him.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, I've seen that. I've seen the things on his hands before.
I haven't seen the leg things.
No. So it's the same concept as the Iron Man suit.
Yep,
really.
yep, basically.
It's kind of silly for him to be practicing this over asphalt.
Concrete. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe grass.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Grass,
Little
Mattress
softer.
factory.
Pillows.
Yeah, something like that.
There's marshmallows behind him. You saw me, Pat.
Yeah. So, all right. So this guy's working on it, and there are a couple of countries that are interested in that. So I thought
I would want to do that.
kind of cool. All right. Let's go somewhere else. Let's see. All right. We're going to talk about a mental study that was done. If you hate the way you look on a video conference.
Oh, yeah.
And
Absolutely. I hate the way I look in real life.
And also think those virtual meetings are a bad tool for doing business, you might be surprised to learn that those two opinions could be related. A new study finds an interesting connection between how people feel about their appearance and their experience with video meetings. The research published in the journal PLOS 1 shows that when people don't like how they look on camera, they're more likely to experience what is commonly known as Zoom fatigue. The study, led by Cheyenne Lim at Michigan State University, surveyed over 2,500 remote workers in the U.S. In fields of science and tech who regularly participate in virtual meetings. Some of the key findings include workers who were unhappy with their facial appearance reported higher levels of virtual meeting fatigue.
You know what people don't consider, though, is that if you take a little time to set up that's why they have lighting directors on shows so that people look better, look normal, or look. You have an austere light on your face in a Zoom conference, overhead lights shadowing you. You're going to look like crap. So if you expend a little energy to put maybe a key light here or there, and your angle, so many people shoot up just from the desk up your nostrils.
Yeah.
That doesn't look good. Take a little time, create and set the shot. You might feel a little bit better about the way you look.
People who felt dissatisfied with their appearance were more likely to use features like touch-up tools, video filters, and avatars to manage how they look.
It's a Navi.
The researchers note that these findings have significant implications for both workplace productivity and employee well-being. The study shines a light on an important challenge in our post-pandemic world where virtual meetings have become more common, and it suggests that addressing appearance-related concerns might make virtual meetings more effective and a little less draining for those who don't like them.
It doesn't take a lot to dress it up a little bit.
Marissa?
Do you guys know there's settings in Zoom that you can make your face look prettier too?
Apply
I know
a
you were
filter.
saying
Look
that, Steve.
prettier?
Yeah. It's like a soft filter.
Oh.
It'll make you look all pretty.
Okay.
And they'll even Marissa, there are real-time filters that will thin your face.
Sure, it's like a TikTok filter.
Yep, exactly. Real time.
All right. We will go to another story. NASA is keeping a close eye on an asteroid. It's named 2024 YR4.
Is this the Bono one?
No, this is a different one. This one's bigger. This space rock is about the size of a building and has a small chance. It says about 1 in 43.
Oh, I don't like that.
That's not a small chance. That's a big chance.
It's bigger than a lot of the ones recently.
How many Bonos is
hitting
this one?
Earth in December 2032. The chance that it'll hit Earth keeps improving, though. So scientists have been told to use the James Webb Space Telescope to study it in March and May as part of an emergency decision. They want to find out its exact size and path.
What is the year of collision, ostensibly?
2032. Not far off. 7 years away.
Yeah.
So knowing that this will help them figure out if it could be dangerous and what to do about it.
Blow it
is
up.
What they will do. If an asteroid this size were to hit Earth, it could cause a lot of damage, similar to an event in 1908 that flattened a large area in Siberia. By studying 2024 YR now, scientists hope to be prepared this time around. I don't think that's the same Bono one. It might be.
You know what we can do? Redirect this one back to Siberia.
Yeah, probably.
They're used to it.
That's a good spot. All right. We'll do another one, and then we'll have to wrap up here in just a moment.
Can we go back to the asteroid thing?
Yeah.
I mean, I know Armageddon is a silly movie, and that asteroid was way bigger than this one. But, like, I mean, we can send a warhead out there to just blow this thing to smithereens, right?
There are programs that they've been working on, and that's one of the things. There's also the notion that we could attach a solar sail,
okay,
and deflect the course of it. So, Deep Impact and Armageddon are there are things that are mentioned in those movies that are things that they have in the works. And look at the Japanese landed didn't they land a probe on a active flying meteor or asteroid,
right?
And were able to get data back.
All right,
it's probably more detailed than just
chucking something at it,
or than just let's shoot a warhead up there.
I
mean,
think
would
what
imagine
you want are a team of deep sea drillers.
Yes,
yeah,
that's what you need.
That's what you need. Oh, they're foibles and craziness, but you send them up into space, they'll be able to do it.
All right, we're going to do another story here. So, what happens to the brain as people transition from alive to dead has puzzled scientists for centuries until now. A team of neuroscientists have captured the first ever brain activity of a dying human brain, which suggests people go experience a life review of sorts. Life reviews have been widely reported on those who have had near-death experiences who said they saw their entire life history play out in rapid manifestation of autobiographical memory. Many describe this as seeing their life flash before their eyes. The recording was made when an 87-year-old patient underwent cardiac arrest while being treated for epilepsy, and doctors had strapped a device on his head to monitor brain activity, but he died during the process. However, the neuroscientists captured 90 seconds of brain activity around the time of death, allowing them to see what happened in the 30 seconds before and after his heart stopped beating. So the measurements of brain waves before and after showed areas involved with memories and retrieval were still active. The brain may still be playing a last recall of important life events just before we die, similar to the ones reported in near-death experiences.
I kind of perceive it as a Ken Burns documentary, which is what I would like. Yeah. Of your...
And it was the age of 4 years old that you got in trouble for crushing a hamburger roll.
The brain, like I said,
then you bought a styrofoam eagle. You went up to your roof and threw it off, and it flew away, and you wasted all that money. Thanks, Mattel.
Important events before we die. So these findings challenge our understanding of when exactly life ends and generate important subsequent questions, such as those related to the timing of organ donation.
Oh.
So according to the doctor that had done the study, he said just before and after the heart stopped working, we saw changes in a specific band of neural oscillations, so-called gamma oscillations, but also in others such as delta, theta, alpha, and beta oscillations.
Oscillation? Excitation?
Brain oscillations.
Oscillation? Excitation? Cremation?
Or brain waves are repetitive patterns of electrical impulses normally present in living human brains, and different types of brain waves reflect different brain functions and states of consciousness. Gamma waves are involved in high cognitive functions, such as memory retrieval, which is associated with memory flashbacks. They also can turn you into a green ranger.
Yes, absolutely.
Researchers suggest that the brain could be biologically programmed to manage the transition into death, potentially orchestrating a series of psychological and neurological events rather than simply shutting off instantly. So it's got like a shutdown procedure if there's time. You know what I mean?
It's interesting about the process of dying, because I was watching this nurse she was giving a TED Talk, a doctor as well, about how your body and how nature prepares you to not fear death, because your body prepares you by the releasing of different chemicals to make you
like dopamine.
Yeah.
Isn't like a DMT one of those?
In other words, yeah. I mean, obviously, if you're hit by a locomotive, those things may not. But if you're in the
But if you get hit by a locomotive, I mean, it might still be the same. It's just
as they say, that track.
It's sped up process, but at that point, maybe time is different.
Right. Yeah. Who knows? I don't know.
I mean, you think about like when you have a dream, what seems like a 3-hour dream is really only just a couple of seconds.
I've had when I go, sometimes I'll get up to pee. Sometimes I'll stay in bed and pee. It's just, but sometimes I'll get up to pee, and it's like 5 minutes, and I will have a whole, and by my perception, before the alarm goes off, a whole story is played out in a dream, though it's only been a minute or two.
Right. One suggests that oxygen, they have some theories, by the way, on exactly how and why the life review phenomenon happens. One suggests that oxygen deprivation during life-threatening events can trigger the release of neurotransmitters or chemical messages that transmit signals between neurons, and this causes neurons to fire rapidly, and this heightened activity may lead to perception or vivid memories and images. Another possible explanation is based on where memories are stored in the brain. Scientists believe that some emotional memories are stored in the amygdala, which is the same part of the brain that is responsible for the fight or flight response.
Interesting. I don't know. To put the memories there seems... I'd put it in the fleshier parts of your ass. It's more protective.
The activation of this brain region during life-threatening experiences may therefore release these vivid memories, causing them to flash before our eyes.
I wonder if it's actually a flash that you're seeing. As they talk about flashing, there's people talk about flashes of light and seeing, these things that are common to people who have had near-death experiences.
I remember when George Harrison passed away, Pierre interviewed Graham Nash, and Graham said something about George that I'll never forget, which was that of all the people that Graham Nash had ever met in his life, the one who was most prepared to pass away was George Harrison. That George knew that he was ill, that he felt death coming, and that he wasn't afraid of it. And I think that if you can get in some kind of mental state where you're ready to and know that it's happening, because we're all gonna die. Yep. It's gonna happen to all of us at some point or another. But to be mentally prepared for it, I kind of aspire to that.
Well, sure. Well, George was very spiritual.
Yeah.
So he
was also in the Beatles.
He was also in the Beatles, but no, he felt he was going to go to a good place. And that whole thing. I don't. And therefore, this is not a good idea to me. This does not feel like a good thing. I don't think I'll ever come to terms with that.
Well, okay. But
I mean, I've come to terms with that.
But even if there's no spirituality attached to it, and I'm not a religious or spiritual person by nature, but the notion that occurs to me, and nobody knows, right? People believe, but nobody really knows, is that it's probably just like it was before you were alive.
Right.
And so it's it's like going to sleep or whatever. And that doesn't scare me.
Okay. Well, good. Good for you. I mean, it's a good place to be.
Yeah.
You said that occasionally you'll run around your house screaming.
Yeah. Quietly. Don't want to disturb the family or anything like that, but,
Nothing is over!
This is over! I'm going to die! I'm not a spiritual person.
All right, and that is...
I know you're all afraid of dying, and I'm afraid not much neither. Moron.
All right. That's all we have time for. But thank you for stopping by the Just Saying Institute this morning. We are going to get we're going to get a little more serious with our next call.
Yeah.
Our next guest. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back in a moment.
Poised to be one of the more unique guests we've ever had.
Yeah. It's an anonymous guest with a very unique, like I said, side hustle that's going on. You just hang out. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. Staggering around suburban Chicago, and authorities are warning locals to hide their pets. A spike in raccoons testing positive for distemper in Riverside, Illinois, is to blame for the bizarre sightings of contaminated animals that the disease causes to appear zombie-like. While zombie raccoons don't eat brains, distemper is highly contagious. If you're feeding wildlife and that raccoon ate out of your bowl, or cat food for your stray cats, and your puppy goes over, the saliva can be contagious.
They sent in a Negan raccoon to take care of everything.
Well. Looks like we got ourselves a problem in Chi-Town. Leaning back high. Looks like we got some trouble. Some trouble in Chi-Town. Going deep dish on this bitch.
It's got a little leather jacket he wears. Yeah.
Lean back, way far. Ooh, hey. In the home of Oprah.
There was an email that was sent out that we were going to have our studios checked because there may have been bed bugs brought into the area. And we've had everything checked out. They actually just brought a dog in to sniff. Yeah, I think it was Jack Russell is what it looked like.
Josie was her name.
Josie is the dog. And
She can appear.
There's no bed bugs.
Well, no, that's not true. There were on a chair.
Oh, was there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Or yeah, it was sort of
One
like
chair.
a warm zone or something.
A warm
like that
zone.
They call those.
That's what I
There's
call my
that.
chairs at home. Yeah, my warm zone.
I think what everybody was worried about was an infestation, which I guess is not the case if it was just on the chair. I don't know.
Just on the chair. The rest of the place is apparently clean. Josie scoured our studio and nothing.
And I'm never coming back again.
You would have thought there was a radiation leak here.
Yeah. So I never told my wife that there was a bed bug.
She wouldn't have let you go to work.
No.
That was the first thing I told my wife, and I started laughing.
Yeah.
Because, listen, I'm surprised that's all we have. They're ripping the entire building apart, walls that haven't been opened up in years.
Yeah.
I imagine at night there must be a big vermin hoedown when we leave. Because you walk around, there's these cavernous, like a wall will disappear.
Yeah.
There's a big opening now.
Yeah.
You walk down one hall, it's 11 degrees, and then the next hall, it's 1,400 degrees. It's a whole new environment. It's like you're on some spaceship that's just, morphing all the time, and that's what this is here.
Well, I'm just glad that they alerted us to it.
Yeah.
Because during some of the construction, apparently they were removing asbestos, and nobody ever told us.
Well, that's when that wall went up down at the end of the hallway.
Yeah.
Because, and I almost walked into that wall. That's how quickly it went up. I started to turn down to go down to what I thought was Chuck's office down the hall that used to exist.
Like Looney Tunes.
And there was a wall.
So my wife will, when we go check into a hotel, it's always the same situation. We open the door, we shut the door, we leave our bags right at the door while she goes and strips all the beds and looks through all the furniture for bed bugs. She's like definitely
She's fanatical.
So before you guys even enter the room,
we have to leave our bags at the door. There's an inspection.
I really wanted to come in a hazmat suit or some sort of bubble, but I couldn't find anything.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going through our text chain, and I'm like, hey, by the way, this is going on. I'm not going to tell my wife. And then Kathy immediately goes from 0 to freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
Get the F out of here. I'm not coming into work tomorrow. Who the F has bed bugs? Holy F, no, like 1,000 exclamation points. And then she says, do you know how hard it is to get rid of bed bugs? What's the company going to do about it? And when? And then Preston sends a GIF, of like a bedbug jug band.
Yeah, playing music. And then Kathy fires back, that's not funny.
It's not funny.
I think I said F you to anybody who's not taking this seriously.
And then I think Nick said, read Joe's email. And then Kathy says, F the email, F the bed bugs, and F whoever doesn't think this is a big deal. Where are we going to do our show tomorrow? Clearly, we can't go to the station, and we need an on-site location.
My house is
She was
clean.
ready.
My house is clean.
Yeah. She was ready to set up shop somewhere else. to do a live
100%.
broadcast.
If you guys would have said, yeah, we have to do the show somewhere else, I would offer it up my house.
Oh, really? Oh, my God.
So it was one bug down the hall, right?
Yes!
Okay, I'm just asking.
Could you see Casey coming home? Diane wants to check him, so she takes out the blue light. Doesn't find any bed bugs, just semen
Bathed in
stains.
semen. Yeah.
All over my face.
We're good. The woman was saying that they have dogs that can do all sorts of that check for bugs that actually will.
Wait a minute. I thought you meant that bed bugs use dogs to travel around.
yeah,
Back up.
Mush, mush.
For a ride.
I thought you meant as piggybacking.
You've never seen the bed bug Iditarod?
No.
It's good. Yeah.
It must be majestic.
It's compelling.
Yeah, good dog, good dog. Good dog. Yeah. I love being out here in the open range. Yeah.
Let's see here. As Godzilla vs. Kong, starring Millie Bobby Brown, performed much better than expected given the circumstances of COVID and so on, and the original movie King of the Monsters' lackluster box office performance. A threequel is expected with Adam Wingard set to direct again.
So he directed the most recent one.
I believe so, yeah.
Right.
So according to the Hollywood Reporter, the concept being floated is Son of Kong. Godzilla vs. Kong has crossed $400 million globally and is the top-grossing Hollywood-produced movie since the pandemic hit.
They're going to have to correct something now in both these, Son of Kong and Son of Godzilla. You gotta have a female Godzilla. Something. Mm-hmm. Who's he banging?
Yeah.
Where does this? Not unless they're asexual. They reproduce that way. I mean, there's only
it's Son of Kong,
right? But there's also Son of Godzilla.
Oh, is there Son of Godzilla?
Yes, I'm sure that's in the works as well.
So maybe he could reproduce asexually. I don't know. We don't know much about Godzilla. He's kind of a mystery, but definitely not Kong.
Well, Godzilla
Definitely
could.
not.
No, he's more. He's a simian.
He's a mammal.
Why do we assume that Kong is a man? Wouldn't
We
we
know
say-
it. He's all man.
Well, I don't know.
Wouldn't he be Queen Kong?
Yeah, he'd be Queen Kong.
Okay, fair point. But I didn't see any low-hanging fruit, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, they left that out. In fact, can you on apes, or do they? I've never.
Is there junk external?
That's a good question.
Apparently, it's pretty small. I remember. We talked one point about animal genitalia.
Yeah, but even on Kong, it would be big enough.
You're right. But
it'd be the size of
proportionally.
a VW, you know.
Yeah,
It'd be the size of me.
Be as tall as Steve.
I want to see King Dong. I want to see it.
There actually was a movie called King Dong.
Of course, there was.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's a rom-com. Like he's romancing this lady, and that's about how they have the baby together.
Oh, the next Kong
the
movie?
next one, yeah.
4 weddings and a King Kong.
That could be. There could be something like that. We'll have to see. An inspiring story.
Giant ape walked into her life.
All right. So anyhow, we will see if that comes to pass or not. But
And how big his junk is, and whether there's a Mrs. Kong.
Son of Kong. We'll have to see.
What a goddamn day today. Sit down, I'll make you some dinner. I'm fighting these things that are apparently prehistoric. And yet I've never seen them. And I'm on an island. You'd think I would run across. I don't even know why they evolved that way. They're like snake things with. Just give me a beer.
Yeah, just think about it tomorrow. Just,
you want to do a little grab ass?
Yeah. Khloe Kardashian.
Let's take this upstairs.
Kong! What are you doing?
Just a little finger stuff.
Oh my God!
There's no little finger stuff in here.
Oh, it's bigger than my penis.
No, it's perfect.
A lot of gorillas are like that.
It's okay, baby. It happens. No, not to me. It's those dumb lizard things that I met today.
You can't stop thinking about it.
I'm just distracted.
Forget about the lizard things. Come upstairs.
Let's have some oysters.
Okay. Should I move on to Khloe Kardashian now? Okay, thank you.
Same size.
I have the floor now.
Maybe that. There you go. King Kong marries Khloe Kardashian.
Today, it was, I guess, 25 years ago today or recently within the last week or so.
I think it's today. It's a magical day, or at least a magical time. You can sort of feel it in the air.
Yeah, you even look outside and the trees are swaying, I think, in honor of the fact that it is the 25th anniversary of the movie Twister.
Yeah. A legendary film.
Oh, my God.
Legendary, horrible film.
I remember looking forward to going and see. I took my mom. She was visiting in town, and I took her to go see the movie. And the big hook were the effects.
That's it.
At the time, the effects were kind of groundbreaking. The CGI depicting these tornadoes.
And they were amazing for the time. They did a great job.
Yeah. It was such a stupid movie.
The whole concept.
It was just piss poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rival storm chasers.
yeah.
There's the corporate storm chasers and the more grassroots in it for the love of the storm. The whole background story on Linda Hunt's character, Helen Hunt's Joe Harding.
Not Linda.
Yeah.
Very, very different.
Yeah. So the Helen Hunt's story about her dad being sucked away in a twister while they were in the storm cellar, and she's always had this love-hate relationship with the storms. But it's horrible. But again, at that time, the effects-wise, you'd never seen anything like that.
No, effects-wise. So here's my vivid memory of this movie. Because if it was 25 years ago today, I was just getting done my junior year of college. I was a lifeguard, and I was at my boss, the guy who owned the company. I was at his house getting all the supplies ready to clean out pools. We did apartment pools. And he talked like this, like his voice was like this, right? And so it's me and my little brother, and we're power washing all this stuff in his driveway.
And he goes, I saw Twister last night, and those tornadoes were real. And he said that. Those tornadoes were real. He must have said that like a half a dozen times. My little brother, it was me and him, my younger brother, sorry. It was me and him. And so we will, I mean, even 25 years later, if the word tornado comes up in conversation, he and I will say, those tornadoes were real.
What was that guy's name?
I don't want to say his name.
What's his first name?
What was his first name? Last name?
You just know his last name?
Joe.
Okay.
Let's go with Joe.
Hey, Joe, how were those tornadoes?
Those tornadoes were real.
I love that story so much.
Was he suggesting that they had incorporated? What was his point? Was that they were not created for the movie, that they were corralling tornadoes and using them in the film?
I think what he meant to say was those tornadoes looked real.
Okay.
But he said that they were real, and he had like a real affinity towards just weather. He loved weather.
He was a weather guy.
Yeah, he loved weather.
It was like Philip Seymour Hoffman in the movie.
Well, I mean, listen, he owned a pool supply and lifeguarding company, so weather was definitely.
What I really love is weather.
Yeah. Weather's important to that line of work. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Joe.
Those tornadoes are real.
Oh, my God.
I wonder if my
That's
brother's
great.
It's almost kind of Don Nazi.
Yeah.
And I tell you,
Wait, I just said Don Nazi.
Very different.
Don Nazi.
Citizens of Mayberry, I find nice and gloomy.
Oh my God, I didn't even mean to do that. Wow. Okay.
Bring Floyd in here. I have something for him to do. We got to talk about this Jewish thing.
All right. But you guys would be surprised how many people are texting in on how this is their favorite movie.
Yeah.
Or that it's their
I don't even get why
the
we're
best
talking
movie.
about it.
it's the 25th anniversary.
We're
Because
talking
those
about it
tornadoes
because
were real.
Who cares?
I mean, come on, Cap.
it was
It was real.
By the way, when Casey says that, he puts his hands by his sides.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like he pushes them into his sticks his elbows out and goes, it was real.
Those tornadoes were real.
Primal Fear. Ed Norton has them as a very diabolical character, right? I remember he's completely psychopathic.
A good twist. In
It's a
that movie,
twist.
too.
Yeah.
It's a twister.
It was real. Those tornadoes were real.
Dude. I can't believe we just met this guy.
I
just
can't
now.
believe I never took.
You've never brought it
I
up.
love that.
Dude, that guy, man. He lived in this beautiful, huge home. I'm like, how the hell, like looking back on it, I'm like, how the hell did you just own a pool company? You know what I mean? Anyway.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, well, good on him.
My family money is real.
I want to get movie reviews from that guy.
Yes.
Other movies.
Other movies from Joe.
Yeah.
I love it. After grieving her husband Prince Philip's death, Queen Elizabeth is back to her royal duties. On Tuesday, she made her first official appearance following Philip's funeral. And she was seen... Oh, grinning. I thought it said grinding.
I thought it said gurning.
She's gurning.
Now, what's this? I'm sucking my reaction into my mouth.
Wait, do we have the bell? It's the gurning.
Her Royal Majesty will now suck her chin into her mouth as part of the royal gurning.
33 WMMR.
All right, thanks, Nick. So yesterday in the Bizarre File, I had a story of a British police officer who was fired for a few different what's the word I'm looking for?
Indiscretions.
And one of them was that he farted in a woman's face.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't like that.
She did not.
Farted in my face.
So he ended up getting suspended or fired or is under review or something like that. I don't remember the details of the full story. But later on in our program, off air, Nick said, it's interesting, that story that came up. Would you want to talk to someone that I happen to know who was approached by someone to do that very thing, to fart in their face.
And be paid to do
and
so.
be paid to do it.
Yeah.
And you expressed the notion this is somebody you've been friends with for a while, and that it just it was like a wow. Okay.
I think it came to her at the right time in her life where she didn't have any attachments that would preclude her from doing something like this.
Right.
As far as I know, and we can ask her in a moment, but the introductions were made over Instagram, and she mulled it over and then realized that there's some money involved, and she decided to do it.
Can I ask how this came up in conversation with the two of you?
You sure can, Preston.
Okay.
And you can ask her this too. Completely unprompted. She texted me on Monday or Tuesday this week. She's like, well, you're never going to believe this. And I was like, I got about 12 million questions. And then when you had that story yesterday, I texted her and I said, listen, this might be something for our show. Would you be comfortable if we talked about it? And then I was like, would you be comfortable coming on and you talking about it?
Well, what was so funny is that as you're doing the story, I hear to the right of me. And he's clearly mulling it over in his mind. Like, is this something that we have to? No, Andrew, we've talked about things similar to this, but I don't think we've had this going right to the source.
Oh, so wait a minute.
Yes.
Is this audio that was sent over?
So she messaged me this morning or yesterday and said, listen, I have some video that I've used in, I guess, in like contacting the person who wanted to pay her for this. So she emailed me that video that we could play on air.
This is her corresponding with these people?
This is basically her audition.
Her audition.
Audition?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Because I assume if one were to be hired for that, you'd have to be able to prove you could do it sort of on command. Yeah.
Yeah. Or
That's
that
exact- yes.
Yeah.
Or that they like the sound or, well, I don't know about the smell, but.
Maybe that's
okay,
part of it.
Let me play. But yeah, I mean, through video, you can't convey
Well,
that.
you can
know what I mean?
fart into a rag and mail it to him.
Okay, that's true. I didn't think about that. All right, here we go. This is a audio of this.
Can you believe he thought Kansas City was going to win?
Birds did it.
Oh my God.
We did it.
I'm so glad.
You were. I know you really believed in
We
in
pulled
Kansas City,
that
but
out.
we told you.
Our bet was so good that he used to
Birds.
smell all of our farts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Dear
Wow.
God.
Wow.
Wait, there's more. Wait, what was that comment right after that? Hold on. Hang on.
Loser.
Loser?
So I guess
I don't know what's going on.
To me, what I could ascertain is this is obviously for a demeaning, right? A humiliation.
I don't know. I don't know what the fetish is.
Okay.
But Steve, to your question and your point, like she had to prove to this person who was going to pay her that she could provide farts.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. You got to make sure that you got to vet the people you hire.
She's on the phone line.
All right.
She's on our Xfinity mobile guest line. Xfinity loves the association here. And you said there's a name I can call her? We're going to use a
Victoria.
Victoria.
Yes.
An assumed name. All right, we need some music to play for Victoria. It's a special piece of music. Okay, that's our special music bed to bring her on. So let's go to... Hi, Victoria. Good morning.
Hello, I actually wrote that song. That's me.
You wrote that song.
That's you.
You're the
Nice.
Paul McCartney of
I
that
should
piece.
have recognized your tone. Okay, so hang on. A lot of questions here. Let's begin. Let's start at the beginning. You were approached by someone. How did this connection happen?
It's actually a friend of mine, and like most of these things start, it was money, looking for extra money.
Okay.
And it was presented to me back in like September or October.
So to step back even a little bit further, you're friends with this person, and this person contacted you directly. What made this person look at you and say, "Oh, I bet Victoria would be a good provider of these humiliating farts for our"? I assume it's some sort of a kink or fetish or something like that. Correct?
Yeah. So she works for, not works. She provides content for a fetish site.
Okay.
So knowing, I've been friends with her for years, knowing that I have the gift of gas, she was like, I think I got the perfect thing for you.
Oh, okay.
Well, then it just
so
fit.
you fart a lot, and so they knew it, and that's okay. Then that's why they approached you.
Correct. Farting and burping. It's my thing.
Wow.
Can you give us a burp impromptu?
Guys, I'm actually sitting in a parking lot I told my roommate / mom that I was going to the gym. I don't even have a gym membership, and I have beers in my hand, so I can get burps out. Like, kind of stuff that I left for the gym with a couple of beers in my hand, but I'm going to do my best to burp for you.
All right.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Go ahead. We'll wait for a second. I mean,
it'll fly out when it's ready.
Okay. Understood. You could have grabbed soda or something at 9 o'clock in the morning, but that's okay.
No. She knows. Listen, you don't tell Van Gogh what paint to use.
I know. I'm out. I'm sorry. I'm out of line on this. Okay. So you're gassy. They approach you. Now, you already know that she does, fetish stuff. So this isn't completely out of the realm of bizarreness for her to bring this up to you then, I guess.
Not at all. I was not surprised at all when she said this to me.
Okay.
So go ahead, Preston.
And how long did you mull this over?
Since, like I said, September or October. Around the end of September, October.
And so this is when this happened, but you've only just recently decided to go forward with this?
As of Tuesday.
Oh, okay. So you've been sitting on it for a little while.
These are fresh farts.
Okay. So did they want you to do this in person in front of them, or do you record this and send it to them?
She took me to her friend's house who does this, website, this fetish site.
Yep.
And I had no idea who he was. I felt comfortable there with her, and I just started,
firing.
blasting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So with your, are you wearing pants, underwear? How close is he to your butt?
Oh, he's in there.
He's in there.
Yeah,
So we're talking like your butt cheeks or earmuffs for him.
Like her nose hurt at one point.
Wow.
So far.
Oh my God. Her nose?
But there's a couple different noses, but yeah.
All right. I get it.
So there's contact.
There's contact.
Oh, 100%.
And you're saying both of them are recipients of your flatulence.
Yeah, not at the same time. There was
Yeah, you only have so much ass.
Okay, so are they doing this? Are they asking you to do this because they enjoy it, or are they doing it because they want to have you film this and it's for the audience, their audience?
So I think I think this fetish site formed from a kink that he had.
Okay.
As far as my friend goes, she's in it with me for the the side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Never in the 20 years I've known her has she said, "Oh, I love farts. I love being farted on." So I think it's more of a him thing.
It's not the kind of thing that comes up while you're having chicken fingers. But I'd say this. So we know that there are a plethora of these kind of sites out there, and it can find a community. And we talk about places like sites like OnlyFans, and that they can be lucrative. Has your first foray into this proven to be a financial win for you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So if you don't mind me asking, how much do you get paid for a session?
$100 an hour.
$100 an hour. Okay, so it's an hourly wage. Okay.
Yes.
And does that start after the first time you break wind, or is it as soon as you get there?
As soon as he hits play, it's
all right.
We're going.
Okay.
So I don't want this is not a judgment statement, but obviously for you this does not seem or feel remotely sexual, and sometimes kinks are sexual and sometimes they're not. For this man who's doing the filming and has invited you over to do this thing, do you think that it is sexual for him?
I haven't gone as far as asking him that because I don't want to know that.
Yeah, I mean, that's again, yes, I can understand that because otherwise it detracts from the innocent purity of it.
Absolutely. Right. I don't I'm already nervous enough. I don't need a
No, so in this world though, honestly, and we talk to people, and we've talked to people over the years who are doing all sorts of things that are appeal to fetish communities and BDSM and all of that stuff, and they conduct regular lives, and it's just part of the thing that they do. And again, if you're doing something and it's all consensual, that's fine. Do you see a long-term aspect for this, or is this just you're thinking right now, just a flash in the pan, a fart in the pan?
I'm just going to take it a day at a time. If I could make a career out of farting, like how lucky am I?
Yeah, right. I was thinking, I'm sitting next to Van Gogh.
Yeah,
Casey,
yeah.
Right, right here.
Thank you.
I know.
You could be making bank on this.
Yeah, but it's different when a guy farts. It's just not.
So
Sexy.
Well,
Not
let me
sexy.
ask you, Victoria: Is that the draw? Finding is it like the finding a unicorn? Is a woman who can do this?
He has a couple of other girls that can do it, but based on my first day there, he has gotten feedback like they want more.
So you're poised. We talked earlier about Will Chamberlain's 100 points in a game. You're poised to be the Will Chamberlain of your particular of this thing right now. I mean, it sounds like he's found a champ in you.
I mean, I don't get my hopes up, but maybe.
This is so interesting. $100 an hour. I'd be curious as to if we were to do a poll or something like this, would you or would you not fart in someone's face if they paid you $100 an hour to do it? And I mean, really, seriously, consider that.
Do it for free.
So you're not getting sexual gratification out of this. You don't know what they are, but there is contact taking place. There's no
true.
penetration of sorts, right?
No.
Okay.
So what you're simply saying is that their faces are nuzzled right up into your crack.
Right in there.
Okay.
And
all up in there.
all up in it. Yeah. Describe for the audience what you were wearing at the time.
I had just like panties on. I made it clear, no nudity for me.
Okay.
You know, I want to keep this PG as possible. So
that schools could show it.
Yeah. Just like panties with hearts on, and then we had leggings on. So it was nothing wild.
Did this make you curious to see what the state of the industry is like in this type of fetish? Did you find yourself sort of exploring what other people are doing?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not even, again, I'm like strictly business.
No, I understand.
And so when you go in, how many times have you done this, by the way?
Just once. I'm going back on Tuesday, though.
Okay. And how long was that session? Was it more than an hour?
It was 3 hours.
$300.
3 bills.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, so as you're first starting this is something that you're good at doing anyway. But does your diet shift? Will your diet shift in anticipation of this?
Yes. I've been working years on, obviously I have a gas problem. I've been working years to eliminate things from my diet that give me this gas. And now I'm like, well, that just went out the window.
Yeah.
So,
now it's all Brussels sprouts and broccoli.
yeah.
So to that point, do you have someone in your life? Are you in a relationship?
I'm involved.
Okay. And is this person aware of this?
He is. I was very honest with him about it, and it's at the point now where it's just don't ask, don't tell. He knows I'm doing it. And
Okay.
But yeah,
How did you bring that up to him, Victoria?
I just said it.
You just said it.
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to listen.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Guess who's buying dinner tonight?
Yeah.
I think
he laughed at first, and I was like, no, I'm serious.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I think that you can make more than $100 an hour, to be honest.
Yes,
I do too. I think you need an agent.
Know
Well,
your worth.
I have a pay structure in mind for you because I used to do voiceovers regularly, and there's certain rates for session work. What you need to do, Oh, that was a burp.
there we go.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Victoria. I stepped on
Damn
your.
it. You didn't
You
know?
were working, and I had no idea. No, but you should. Your first hour is more of a premium charge, and then every hour after is a little bit less. So generally, it would be like $300 for the first hour for voiceover session. I'm just throwing numbers out here, and then $100 every hour afterwards. So I think you should do that, Victoria. I think you should charge like $200 at least for the first hour, and then $100 for every hour after.
I think that makes sense.
Is that still a little low, Nick?
More money.
I think you can do like $250, $300 an hour just flat.
Okay.
He offered me up to $200 an hour, but it included face and nudity, and I'm drawing the line there.
No, you don't surrender. You got to have your self-respect.
At least you guys negotiate.
Let me. I'm going to do a quick search where you guys are talking about what the industry pays for
Farting videos?
Yes.
Okay. So you've done this one time. When you left, how did you feel?
Fine. I felt relieved of gas.
I'm sure you felt a little less, bloated, but how did you feel mentally?
Totally fine.
Wow. All right, then, hey. I think
Not affect me at all.
Well, then good for you.
Happy.
So I'm looking here, and there are. It depends on. See, you need to set the standard because there are actually people who fart in jars
Yes.
And that's part of it as well.
such a thing?
So
disgusting.
here's what I'm going to do, Victoria. We're gonna conference in a friend of ours who is a very successful OnlyFans. She does explicit material on OnlyFans. She is a calendar, one of our all-time favorite calendar girls.
Entrepreneur.
And she's an entrepreneur. And we have, could we get her music, please? Thank you. We have our friend Sarah Clayton who's on. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, guys.
Hi. So you heard us talking to Victoria here?
I did.
All right. And what number one, do people ask you to fart in their face and things like that?
I have never once been asked this.
Let me ask you, what's your gut instinct? I'll use that phrasing as far as the pay for with Victoria getting $100 an hour in this sort of subsection. Does that you who's quasi in the industry? Does this seem good? Could she be doing better?
I mean, I personally would probably want more than that, but the fact that she is not nude, that's a different aspect. I'm very happy that there's no chance of anything happening that's going to make her uncomfortable in that aspect. But, yeah, I feel like you could name your price, but at the same time, you don't want to price yourself out of the market. So I don't really know.
No, so what do you think about that, Victoria? Because I understand your predicament. You come in, you're a newbie, and you're like, "Oh, this is found money." I mean, it was going to happen anyway. I might as well monetize it. But do you think you could get bold and start to raise prices?
I really need an agent or a mentor.
Yeah, right.
I have potential here.
Yeah. How close are you with Kathy Romano? Because I feel like she could
help
do
you.
these bargainings for you.
She handles a lot of people in this industry.
Yeah, give her my number.
Could you see Kathy negotiating this? 100%. They want you to take a dump on the floor.
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel about that?
nudity.
Yeah.
I'm looking out for your chickie baby.
Yeah, Sarah. So with Victoria new to this, and by the way, Victoria, these videos I assume are posting on OnlyFans, right? Or would you rather not say?
I will not say the website.
Okay.
But I did just start an OnlyFans. I mean, it just got verified as of this morning.
Okay, so you could actually take this on yourself. So Sarah, it's you. This is within you and your husband you run your site, correct? And so has it been lucrative for you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, and you can now do this only, right? You don't have to have another job.
No, I mean, I'm not to that point. I mean, I kind of am very demure about what I advertise on purpose.
Okay.
But there is there's a lot of fun extra stuff on my page. But you definitely could make a full-time career out of it if you choose to.
Sarah, you've been modeling for a long time. We've known you probably for a decade or so at this point. How long did it take? Because you've had other modeling sites and obviously Instagram and whatever else. But how long did it take for you to make OnlyFans successful, lucrative, like Steve was talking about, a way to actually have an income?
I think probably like a year and a half, but also right after I started, I think COVID started a year in after I had it. So that did help because people had extra discretionary income. So there was a conversion or a
catalyst?
Yeah, basically that helped do that. So that moment.
Yeah, there definitely was a bump because there were people that were at home and had extra money.
A confluence of events, as they say. So, Victoria, I had just had a little idea because if you want to talk about the viral traction, how about Hak Pua?
Okay.
Get that vibe going. That can be your thing because look what the Hak Tour go. Before she got involved in cryptocurrency, she was doing quite well. So, I mean, ultimately, you could take a little bit of ownership, perhaps learn the industry from this guy. But I think we all kind of agree what you're doing is a commodity that probably should be yielding a little bit more money.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you guys planted the seed, I mean, I'm going to shoot for the stars here.
Sarah, what would you charge to fart in someone's face? What do you think?
Oh my God, I am cringing so much just thinking about it. I don't, that's no judgment on you, Victoria, whatsoever. I'm just saying.
$1,000?
God, I don't even know if I'd do that. Maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to be serious. I would be giggling the entire time.
Well, to that point, Victoria, were you giggling a little bit when you for this session you just had?
There was a couple of times where I was like, "Oh my God, I'm totally gonna lose it," especially because she's one of my closest friends, and I'm like blasting her in the face. So there were a few times, but the guy there, he's like, "Farts are funny. Laugh if you have to." And
allowed it. Allowed it.
He knows.
Okay, I'm gonna conference in one more person, your potential agent. And for the purposes of this call, we're calling her Danny Torrance from The Shining because we were speaking to Kathy last night and she was talking like this. This is how she feels. So I don't know how her voice is now. Are you there, Danny/Kathy?
I am on my deathbed. I have the flu, something. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I felt the need to call in on this conversation. $100 an hour, she's getting ripped off.
Oh,
there you go.
There it is.
So there is now Kathy is a successful entrepreneur as well.
Yep.
So I would heed her advice. Kathy, this is not your world. I was joking. I mean, you've done a few snuff films, but not anything like this. What would you estimate would be the way to break down the payment structure for what Victoria is providing?
I mean, clearly I need to do a little research. This is not my area of expertise, but $100 an hour, no way. There are regular, I guess I could call them, professions that some people are making that money. This girl's going and farting in people's faces. There's got to be more money in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's sage advice from
someone who knows.
Someone who knows.
Hey, Danny Torrance, are you willing to be her agent?
What'd you say, Keith?
Would you be willing to be her agent? Negotiate some deals for her?
Yeah, yes, I guess.
Would you be willing to be her intimacy coordinator on set?
God, on set.
No, but I just want to help this poor girl. $100 an hour, no way. Don't go back on Tuesday until you ask for more money.
Okay. And
All
Kathy, can you give, or Danny, can you give us one red room before you go?
Red rum.
Red rum.
All right. Feel better, Kath.
Goodbye.
We miss you. See ya. Okay.
She sounds so bad.
She does sound bad.
I tell you, I hope she's good, but Friday's, man.
But I think Victoria's getting shortchanged, but it may already be too late because she's done it once already for this money. So
Victoria, to that point, if that's the case and that's all it's going to be, if you were to take a little bit more ownership with your own or whatever your site or whatever service you're on, I think that's something. If you're cool with it and it's completely consensual and there is a willing, eager public that makes sense and you're totally fine with it, I just think. So Casey and Preston, obviously you guys are very good friends.
Yeah.
If out of the would
I've seen his butthole before.
Right.
Yeah.
Would you stick your face up in that?
For how much money?
Yeah. No. Like, how much would it take for me to stick my face up there while you're ripping one?
How much do I owe you?
Wow.
No.
Yeah.
That's a different animal here than Victoria has. But that would listen. I'm not
a religious man.
No. Well, we know that. I do have a price.
Yeah.
I'm not beyond doing something demeaning and stupid if the price is right.
Okay.
Unless it crosses some kind of line that I don't feel comfortable going over.
Give us a mind. Give us a ballpark.
I would say I'd do it for $500.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Hang
I
on
was
a
going to go
second.
for 1,000.
I don't need thousands. You know what I could get for $500? That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
$500.
All right, Case, what do you got there?
5, 6.
I'm
going to have to hit the ATM here.
Okay.
ATM?
Yeah. How's ask the mouth.
No, my mouth is not going anywhere.
No, here's
but
the
not
deal.
ATM.
So a lot of times you have trouble getting sort of inconsequential purchases past Diane.
Yeah.
How are you going to explain this one?
Well, I'm not making the. Oh yeah, I would be making the purchase. You wouldn't be paying me. All right, I'll take $500.
But Sarah Clayton, I'd only charge you $300 to fart in my face.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
And by the way, Victoria, I don't think it's too late to up your price. The way I look at it is you were working on a rookie contract and you superseded what your expectations were, and so now you go for the max deal.
I'm going to renegotiate.
All right. No, we think. And your next session is when, Victoria?
Tuesday.
Okay.
Now, I'd like to help you out and mention your OnlyFans account, but then again, you don't want people to know who you are.
I can actually, well, first of all, I texted Nick the wrong name because I'm new to this, fake name.
Yeah.
It's actually Veronica. No,
It's Veronica.
Oh, it's not Victoria, it's Veronica.
Okay.
You're off to a
but
strong
I am-
start.
It was the wrong fake name.
I am totally willing to share the OnlyFans.
Go ahead, and then we're going to get Sarah's as well, but what is it?
Veronica_star with 2 R's and another underscore.
All right, Veronica_star with 2 R's and another underscore.
Okay.
Yes.
And that is your OnlyFans account. Okay.
Nothing on there yet. Absolutely
Nothing on there
Okay,
yet.
so it's just set up. So you got to get something up there quick. We're
Like
going to throw that
a
out there.
sizzle reel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, Sarah, what if you want to mention your OnlyFans account, you certainly can.
Yeah, mine is just Sarah with an H Clayton, and it's actually on sale for 50% off for the weekend.
Oh. In honor of the
President's
Eagles win.
President's Day.
And also, Sarah Clayton Modeling on Instagram, if you want to go take a look there first, and that's wonderfully beautiful too. But Sarah Clayton Modeling, I believe, is your Instagram account, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Well, we'll make sure people are aware of that.
Everyone being very, very candid and open. We appreciate the information because we are all endlessly inquisitive about this.
Yep. All right, Sarah, we're going to let you go, though, but we'll play your song on the way out. Thank you for calling this morning.
Thanks, guys. I love you.
Love you too. Are you going to come to the Cardboard Classic?
I'm going to try to.
Okay. Let us know if you do. All right. We'll see you later. Sarah Clayton, Calendar Girl, the President Steve Show.
Preston, we got another text from a different calendar girl. If you want to read this, it starts here and then goes up there.
Hi, guys. It's Carly May from the 2020 Calendar Girl. Just wanted to jump in and say that I charge $400 for 5 minutes for 5-minute farting kink videos. And she says, LOL, Victoria can definitely make more money. I also cannot fart on command
the way she can.
So it takes more time to prepare for the video. Haha. But I cater to a lot of interesting fetishes on my page.
All right.
By the way, it says X Carly May. So I think that must be her OnlyFans account. X Carly May.
Yeah, all right. And I
you're
think she's on
interested in seeing
Instagram
that.
too.
So quick question, Victoria. We are correct, or Veronica, we are correct in you can do this on command, correct?
If I eat the right foods, I don't know if it's on command, but it's constant.
Constant. All right. So from what we're hearing, that is a commodity. A price we just heard is 4 times what you're currently making.
Yeah, I've been robbed.
Yeah.
Is there a market for 50-year-old men who fart?
Oh, dude, there's a market for everything. What is it,
honestly-
Rule 39?
Yes, there is someone out there. There's a kink and a thing for everything, and it's staggering.
So for extra money, I could either or
You could have had a swim spa years ago.
I could sell my plasma, or I could fart, or I could do both.
Yeah, you could do both. And whatever happened to the Kathy's foot videos that we were supposed And what about those pictures we were supposed to see
Yeah,
of
that's
Kathy's feet? I've seen her making videos. I think she's working on something big.
Yeah.
I think she's working on something. I think we might
Do you
actually.
think she's really not sick and that she's in some far-flung location?
Maybe.
Probably.
Doing some exotic
She's in
foot
Tunisia
shots?
where the original Star Wars was filmed?
Maybe. Kathy with 2 sons.
Yeah.
And
feet and farting.
And farting with her feet and
Play the
on Tatooine.
Play
Isn't that
2
where it
sons,
is?
Casey.
He's looking for it. Yeah, I could see it
I'll
now.
help you.
Okay, hold on a moment.
Listen, think of the pastoral beauty of 2 sons.
Tatooine.
And then Kathy steps up on the edge just the way Luke Skywalker did, and then...
All right. Waiting, wow. Veronica, we think you're being a little bit shortchanged, but we understand you're new to the business. And
You don't want to be entitled.
Yeah.
But you're worth more.
Yeah.
I appreciate the motivation. I'm gonna go in there and demand a raise.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
I encourage you to go through with this endeavor because clearly after your first session, you found it didn't bother you at all. You actually found it kind of fun. So why not, man?
If we get a mask for you, would you consider performing at the blood drive?
I actually have a mask. It's a really good one. Nick, I think I showed you a picture of it. So I would consider it, actually.
All right. And once the OnlyFans is up and running and you have like any type of content or whatever, let me know. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
Right.
Just let me know and I'll let these guys know.
Sounds good.
All right, Veronica, thank you for sharing your story. Very, very interested, okay?
You guys have a good day.
All right, love you. Thank you. All right, there you go.
Those things make you fart.
That's Bill West. What was he talking about?
I don't know.
Do those things make you fart?
I don't know. Maybe it's some.
I get off.
He likes those videos.
He does like those videos. All right. Well, that was certainly interesting. Nick, thank you for setting that up.
I did not expect that text earlier this week. I didn't think that it was going to turn into a radio segment, but you never know what our listeners are into or not into. And
very open about it.
I'm really glad she called.
I commend her.
And it was nice of Sarah to call in as well.
Yes.
Agreed. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back in a second. I know it already seems like we were there, but the bizarre file is what we'll be doing next. So hang out.
Preston and Steve on 93.3.
Her Royal Majesty will contort her face by sucking her chin up into her mouth.
If you're not familiar with gurning, it's when people like take their false teeth out and suck their lips into their mouth.
If you know what bitter beer face is.
Yeah, that's gurning. So she was seen gurning during two virtual audiences with Windsor Castle. So yeah,
Prince Charles will gurn simply by standing there.
No, it was grinning is the word I read incorrectly. So.
By the way, this very bell came from England.
No.
Really?
Yes, it did. I ordered it on Amazon, and it came, and there was the parcel information said from England. So maybe it's the one the Queen uses.
It might be. Might be.
Where's my goddamn bell?
the gurning.
I sold it on Amazon.
There we go. We had mentioned this earlier this morning, but it's definitely worth bringing up. The restaurant named Cadence, which is a BYOB on Girard Avenue, was named the best new restaurant by Food and Wine.
That's a super well respected journal in the world of the culinary happenings.
Yeah.
And so this is a big honor.
But in the order, you have Cadence is number one in Austin, Texas. Suerte. Frenchette in New York, Conby in Los Angeles, Kumiko in Chicago. These are all one-word names.
Manny's Chili Dogs.
Ah, that's on there. No, Pat's Chili Dogs.
Pat's Chili Dogs.
Yes.
Definitely the best theme.
Yeah.
Number one in Food and Wine magazine. Yeah, baby.
That was from the band Cinderella when they were big in the area. They did
We're Warren. We were in town. We want some good chili dogs. We always read through Food and Wine magazine to see who won.
They did a commercial for Pat's Dogs.
That building is now a We Buy Gold.
Oh, is it really?
We buy gold. Gold for sale. No more chili dogs. I'm not going west. Next step, selling blood.
Yeah. So number 6 on this list is Ada, which is Ada Indian Canteen.
Ooh, I love canteens. When you're going out, you need water.
Fox and the Knife in Boston.
Boston sucks.
Hey, we beat Boston.
Yeah.
Love me some good Fox.
There you go.
Suck at Boston.
How's the Fox at this place?
Indigo in Houston, Nightshade in Los Angeles, and in New Orleans, a place called Piece of Meat.
There you go. You know, it's I think one of the most difficult parts of a restaurant would be a name that means something and pops to people.
Yeah.
You know, like Pat's Chili Dogs.
Right. That's. Yeah, I mean, you know, the name will only get you so far, but it is an added bonus. Answer the phone, by the way. Thank you very much. I don't know. If you had a restaurant, what would you name it?
I'd name it Answer the Phone.
Yeah, thank you.
Because
I'm sorry. I'm tired of waving my arms.
Yeah.
It's been happening
You
the
lose
last few
business.
days, and I'm just going to say Answer the phone.
Answer
from
the
now on.
goddamn phone.
Yeah, answer. In fact, I'll say it that way.
Yeah.
That should be the name of the restaurant.
Answer the goddamn.
Answer the goddamn.
Answer the goddamn phone. Great food. Answer the goddamn phone. Open all night.
We we've been mentioning all morning long, tickets for the Barbecue go on sale right now. It is exactly 10 a.m.
Yeah.
You can get your tickets. The lawn seats start at just $25, and we want you to get on board because we want you to be there for all of the bands and all the activities that are taking place. We're going to have Aaron Jones, who we just played, Dorothy, Mammoth, Wolfgang Van Halen's band, Mammoth, he will be there. Dirty Honey, Cheap Trick, The Offspring, and the band that this gentleman is in, who is joining us right now. We're so excited to have Jane's Addiction on the bill.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've seen them before. I saw them at the Spectrum ages ago.
Amazing, right?
Blew me out of the water. One of my favorite shows in that building of all time. Please welcome Mr. Dave Navarro. Our show today. Good morning, Dave.
Hi, guys.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. That's a very nice welcome.
It's our pleasure, man. Like I said, yeah, I've seen you guys before. I know the kind of energetic show that you bring, and that you guys get the audience in on the party. You make it happen. And it's been a while since we've partied, Dave. So big expectations.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Well, big expectations for me too. I got to tell you, the other night, LA is starting to open up and have indoor eating and dining and things like that. And I went to a restaurant the other night, and it was overwhelming. Just people and noise and things going on and plates being dropped. And then I thought forward to our show coming up in September. I was like, man, I'm not even prepared to be in a restaurant.
Baby steps.
But
you know what I mean? Like, what is it going to be like walking out onto like a festival audience with you guys? But I'm excited to do it, man. It's been a long time. So
the way
we're pretty psyched.
The way it's progressing is that the show is it's at the end of September. So again, everyone's sort of feeling their way. It's like the cobwebs are lifting and the doors are opening and everyone's looking above ground. And by that time, I think we're going to be in a nice swing of things. But I can't think of a better scenario, especially since it'll be a little bit cooler in September.
Yeah.
And the roster's great. And Preston's seen you guys a number of times, and I've always wanted to see Jane's Addiction, and people are freaking out.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm also super excited to see Wolfgang's band.
Yes. Yeah, we've been talking quite a bit about that, David. I want to get your take on this because the music that we've heard so far, very impressive. He had a lot to live up to, and that's another thing. And I'm hoping for the best because not only is he a young musician trying to make his way, but I need somebody to carry on that Eddie
legacy.
Legacy.
The mantle?
Thank you. Yeah. And that's got to be a tremendous amount of pressure on him, I assume. I'm sure he's gladly going to take this on, but it's got to be a weird position to be in.
Yeah, I would imagine the best thing for him is to acknowledge that and be aware of it, but to just do his own thing, man. Yeah. He's his own human being, and like he's got his direction musically. And from what I've seen, it is very different than Van Halen. It's a little bit more, more modern rock, I suppose.
Yeah.
But he's fantastic, and I want to see him. I want to check out the band, and I'm going to do everything in my power to not tell him how much your dad meant to me. Right?
It's hard though, right?
It's going to be impossible, but you know how hard that's going to be to not do. But yeah, I mean, I hope the best for him, and I typically don't get to when we do these festival shows. I typically don't get to them early, but I'm definitely going to come down and check out Wolfie, and I'll probably check out Cheap Trick too, because Xander's a friend and I played with him a bunch of times. And a weird side note for me is that I think the first concert I ever went to was Cheap Trick opening up for Kiss.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah. Like in the 70s.
Yeah.
And so to be on the same bill with them as Cheap Trick and as Jane's Addiction is a pretty big deal for me. Just in terms of having a little personal clash with my own history, I suppose.
Well, Dave, I have to tell you, I had my upper thigh felt at a backyard barbecue to a Cheap Trick song in the 70s. So, yes.
I don't know that we can top that experience for you.
I mean, that was good.
Hey, Dave,
At least you had that.
I wanted to ask, with the length of time it's been since musicians have had a chance to do live shows. I mean, you can pick up the guitar and you can play it and you can keep your chops going, just doing a little rehearsing here and there and writing whatever you may be doing. But is there a difference between being, keeping the instrument fresh and being on stage? Or do you have to get your stage legs together, essentially, is what I'm asking?
I mean, I don't know. We've been doing it for so long. And, believe it or not, Jane's Addiction has historically taken years off, years of hiatuses. And so, we're just coming out of COVID. And it's been a while since we've been on stage. But we are, ironically, very used to getting back together after years of not doing it. So hopefully we are experienced in trying to make it look seamless once we get back on the stage. But usually when the first downbeat happens and Perry gets into his trip, it's pretty easy to get lost in that environment and just kind of go back to second nature. Yeah. Fortunately, a lot of these songs have been with us for 30 years, so it should be pretty seamless.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Dave Grohl has this special coming out about the van life, evolutionary period of a band. Was that you guys? Was that Jane's? Were you guys doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. We our first tour was in a van with the entire band and the one crew member that we had and all of our gear in a U-Haul behind us, and like literally taking turns driving and just freezing and sick and hating each other and in close quarters. And when you do get to a motel, you all share a room. Like it was the early days were rough stuff.
Well, I was surprised to find out when Dave is mentioning when Nevermind came out, this album is out. It's starting to hit. They're still in a van traveling to shows. It is, this is a groundbreaking record. This is huge. This is rock and roll history right here. And they're still driving around a van. When Nothing Shocking, were you guys still doing the van thing when that came out?
I know that we had a couple of tiers. So we went from a van to what we thought was a great idea, which was a Winnebago.
Okay.
So it wasn't quite a bus. It was a Winnebago. It was literally like a mobile home. And we broke out a window. One of the side windows got shattered somehow. So we were literally touring around the East Coast in the dead of winter.
Oh, no.
With just freezing cold 75-mile-an-hour wind just wafting through the Winnebago.
Did you try to tape up like a trash bag or something?
Well, you try. You try everything. And then finally at some point you're like, fuck it, we'll deal with it. We just we just sat there and like dealt with it. But I think that, I think there's something to be said about those old days that like we really, I don't know that we would be the same band without them. We really had to. I mean, there were gigs. We were putting in vans, and we'd pull up to the club, and we would load out and load in our own gear ourselves. So it would be like a Jane's Addiction show. Thank you, good night, and then start winding up cables and putting guitars in cases and trying to push your amp off the stage, get ready for the next band. I really appreciate
MMR. All right, thank you, Nick. Yes, we'll be at the Cambria Hotel on Broad Street tomorrow morning. It's 219 South Broad Street. To be more specific, it's right between Locust and Walnut, and we'll be doing our show from there. And we hopefully will see you if you're amongst the masses that are along Broad Street and that kind of Avenue of the Arts area, which is just great. We were looking at video of where we will be set up inside the balcony to be looking out, and just that long stretch down Broad right before you hit City Hall is just a great spot.
It's perfect. It's so good.
Yeah. So
I was unaware of the Hotel de Cambria and seeing it and seeing Marissa's little tour of it inside. It's really slick and stylish looking. So I'm very excited.
Yep, and they got a bar right there,
Yes, they
right
do.
by where we will be. So beautiful thing. All right, Bizarre File time. Here we go.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, since we were just talking about OnlyFans, I'm going to lead with a story.
All right.
A Florida judge ruled in favor of a school district that prevented a mom who modeled for OnlyFans from volunteering at her kid's elementary school after it learned what she did for a living. Victoria Treese sued Orange County Public Schools for $1 million in 2023 after the school district said she would no longer volunteer Sand Lake Elementary School because of her occupation. The principal received an anonymous email in 2021 from a concerned parent, along with 2 explicit photos of Treese.
I was going through my OnlyFans clients when I noticed somebody that works at the school.
The school's principal, Kathleen Phillips, alerted her boss. Ultimately, the school said she could no longer volunteer. Treese sued, arguing that she was robbed of her due process and privacy rights. But Orange County Circuit Judge Brian S. Sandover wrote in a 22-page opinion that Treese does not have a substantive due process right. To volunteer in the program.
Yeah, I get
you don't
that.
have a right to. You have a right to work, but not to volunteer, I guess. So,
what if she had farted in people's faces?
Sander also noted that Treese never appealed the decision with the school district itself. There's nothing in the district's policy that says parents have a right to volunteer, the judge argued. So,
all right.
Sander granted the school district's motion for summary judgment on all accounts. But I thought it said she was suing for saying that she was robbed of her due process and privacy rights as well. So I don't know.
Hell. We're not lawyers.
All right. In Illinois, the owner of a steakhouse was tragically stabbed to death inside the restaurant late Saturday night during a gender reveal party. And his girlfriend and 2 of her sons are in custody.
Think about the fires, the explosions, the mishaps, and now a stabbing.
So
why not just tell people?
Dispatched to 4114 Steaks and Seafood Saturday night, they found Joshua Kirkwood with numerous stab wounds to his wrist, back, and right side. He was pronounced dead. He's the owner of the steakhouse.
Boy.
Kirkwood got into an argument with his girlfriend, a manager at the restaurant, during a gender reveal party that was being held in the basement of the business. 2 of the woman's sons, including 21-year-old Isaiah Gonzalez, allegedly got involved. Witnesses told police the woman's 16-year-old son grabbed a kitchen knife and stabbed him multiple times. The woman was also stabbed in the leg. Both brothers left the restaurant after the attack. The 21-year-old Gonzalez later showed up at a medical center with a stab wound. Police located the blood-covered knife in the kitchen of the restaurant. There's no evidence Kirkwood had any weapons on him at the time of the incident. Isaiah Gonzalez appeared in court Monday morning and was held on 3 counts of murder, by the way. The 16-year-old brother and the mother are also in custody, but they haven't been officially charged yet. That's horrible.
Mommy, tell me about the murder at my gender reveal party again.
Wow. More than 170 bombs from World War II were discovered underneath a children's playground in northern England, and it's believed that more will be unearthed. The first of the bombs, which still contained a charge, by the way, were discovered at the playground in Wooler, Northumberland in January, and a total of 176 bombs have now been found so far, and experts fear that more will be unearthed.
You heard that story that they found 1,000 Fisher-Price toys under a munitions factory.
Oh, my
That's
God.
weird. I mean, they really do have to be careful even just uncovering this
They
stuff.
do.
Like,
Yes, and this has been since forever that people find unexploded ordnance in and around the area.
It's like, look, here's another bomb.
Hey, throw me that ball. Ready? Go long.
All right, now all you have to do is fart in my...
So the playground was in the process of being updated when staff found a suspicious object while digging the foundation. The Parish Council said in a statement that Brimstone Site Investigations was hired to survey the playground, and that it quickly became apparent that the scale of the problem was far greater than anyone had anticipated. Officials said 65 practice bombs weighing about 10 pounds each were found in an area less than 10 square meters. Smoke cartridges were recovered from the same pit, and then another 90 practice bombs were found at a 20 square feet area as well.
Man, I was gobsmacked.
It is believed the area where the playground was initially built was used as a home guard training ground, and the bombs were buried at the end of the war.
Of course, and then you think about how comprehensive are the records that were kept of where things were stored? Obviously not well.
Yeah. Work to dispose of the bombs is anticipated to continue through at least the end of the month. All right, we'll do one more story, and then we will wrap it up. Let's go with this. The Lee County Sheriff's Office is investigating a bizarre incident that unfolded in San Carlos Park, where a man riding a lawnmower destroyed multiple mailboxes. Neighbors, including Matt Clarity, the guy was drunk, by the way.
I'll show him.
The neighbors, including Matt Clarity, whose mailbox was among the victims, are still in disbelief after witnessing the unusual scene. He said it was absolutely disgusting, but it's also funny. I can watch it up to 100 times, he said, though he added that he hoped that the culprit would be caught. Austin Beer, a neighbor in the area, expressed frustration and said, F you.
So he was just running in a straight line over their mailboxes?
I guess. But he said, F you. I hope you at least paid for the mailboxes to be fixed. Definitely don't hit my mailbox and don't hit my truck, he said. One neighbor, Justin Crawford, went further, calling for the driver to be held accountable. He said he should be arrested, thrown in jail for driving while intoxicated on a lawnmower. Be a man and turn yourself in. You shouldn't be doing this, Crawford said. Neighbors reported that the lawnmower rider left behind a Pittsburgh Steelers hat and a pair of sunglasses. Deputies are currently working to identify the individual responsible for the vandalism.
Wait, watch this video. This is too good. Watch.
So we're watching a guy on a riding lawnmower slam into one of the mailboxes that has like a concrete or stone reinforcement around it. He hits it, and then he goes head over heels over the front of it. I don't know. Is this the same story? It is. Okay.
I mean, they could have just submitted it for like America's Funniest Home Videos and made some money off of it.
Absolutely. The investigation continues. Residents are hopeful that the man will be caught and held accountable for his actions. So,
Mailbox is getting a little high there, don't you think?
and that is what I have in the bizarre file for you for now. All right, we'll come back and we'll see how closely you've been listening to the program. We've got a lesson question. Trash and music news are coming up too, so stay put. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve
on 93.3 WMM.
Appreciate having had those experiences. As much as I would never want to do them again, I think they really taught us how to be a band.
I was in my 20s. I was a band guy. I'm a drummer. And so just a couple of last year, I was like, I got together with some guys. We created a cover band, and we went out and we played some gigs. And I tell you what, Dave, on that first night, at 3 o'clock in the morning, when we're putting the last bit of crap back into the van, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking, man? This sucks. You know?
It's a little different when you're 17 and you're pushing stuff in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, right now, like, my lower spine cannot handle carrying an amp.
It's just not going to happen.
Dave, we're able to Zoom with you right now, and looking over your shoulder, is that a cuckoo clock up on the wall? And if so, what's the story behind that?
Actually, there's probably 12 of them in this house. I collect them. That's cool. It's just a weird thing. And, you know, cuckoo clocks, when I was a kid, that was like in cartoons, that was the symbol of crazy.
Yeah.
Like if someone was crazy, you'd see a little cuckoo or a bird would come out. And I just kind of came with this whole embracing. I do a company called Dual Diagnosis, which is it's an art/clothing company that's geared at lifting the stigma of mental health issues.
Right.
And you know, there's a whole story behind the cuckoo. I don't know if you know about it, but if you look inside that box, it's all complicated gears and springs and coils and wires. There's this little bird that's trapped in there. It can't fly out because it's held down by these weights.
Yeah.
You see the weights that hang down?
Right.
Which could be, you know, its emotional baggage, for instance. And so until it drops that baggage, it can't fly and reach its full potential.
Wow.
And it's locked in this confusing box that's making it crazy. So, yeah, I collect them, and then we also use them artistically throughout the Dual Diagnosis company, and that's spelled DUAL Diagnosis, and dualdiagnosis.com.
Well, I never realized there were so many metaphors attached to a cuckoo clock, but I
think that I invented them, but they work.
But that's good. I can completely see that because I'm fascinated by little mechanisms and the artistry of that stuff, animatronic things, and all of that. Have you yourself ever designed a cuckoo clock?
I designed what I called a cuckoo clock wristwatch. Was when I took that clock and I duct taped it on my arm.
Okay, that counts.
This is a crazy watch, but no, I'm not a tinkerer. For instance, I love watches. I love components. I love things that work like that. But I mean, these things, you know, they're kind of genius, and the implications, like the humorous implications that they contain are kind of funny, and you just don't see them anymore. But if you look around my house, like I think there's one over there.
Yeah.
There's one there. There's one on the other side. So there's like 15 of them in here. But the best part is that they're all set at different times.
Yeah.
So throughout the day, just a different bird is coming out.
That's great.
And it will literally drive you insane. I mean, if you're not insane already, put up 5 cuckoo clocks. You know what it's like.
Yeah, you know, my sister's actually obsessed with cuckoo clocks as well, but she does not have one. Maybe that is a good gift for me to get for her.
It's a great gift, and they you know they make them battery operated now, but the ones that are really special are the ones that are handmade, that use the actual weight system to have the time tell time, and even the pendulum has to be hung at the right length, otherwise it's going to either tick too fast or too slow.
Okay.
So they're very complicated things, but they are interesting to be obsessed with.
I completely get it. Yeah.
I did not expect to be talking about those.
Well, I'm sure you're not going to expect to talk about this either. Are you wearing a Snuggie right now?
No, right now I am wearing a it's like a hooded cape. This is like for outdoors life.
That's pretty cool.
Ceremonial outdoor life, and it happens to be 7 a.m. here in LA, and I just happen to be freezing. But I will tell you this: I am not opposed to a straight up Snuggie either.
No, why would you be?
Dave, who would you say between you and Perry? You guys are artists to the core.
Yeah.
Who's a little more quirky in their personality? Is it you or Perry?
We both have a lot of, I guess, independent thought, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I would say that, I would say Perry, just because being a front man of a band like this and having to have that sensibility and be on every night and deliver every night, like I get to turn around and hide behind the guitar and like get lost in my instrument, which I love, because I did a solo tour in 2000, and I just came to learn that I didn't love it. I didn't love leading the band. I didn't love being the lead singer. I didn't love the eyes. I didn't love the pressure. And Perry can do that really well, and he, in fact, loves it. So I would say that there is a component to his personality that allows him to be that extroverted on stage and do it with authority and conviction. So I don't know if I would say he's more quirky, but I would say that he has what it takes to front a band.
Yeah,
better than most, I would say. And I think along with that kind of mentality, you've got to have some walls down, to allow yourself to be that raw in front of people.
Totally.
And while at the same time having certain walls up. So I think it's a microcosm of some kind of very strange dance that goes into being a lead singer. And, he's, as far as I'm concerned, he's one of the best frontmen that have been around in the past 30 years.
Is it hard, speaking to that point about, because you let a lot of you out, with your love of the tattoos and artistry and the cuckoo clocks and things, things that are part of you. Is it hard when you are in the public eye the way you are, and you're talking about Perry being more up front and being the front man, but you are a personality, you are a pop culture personality. Is it hard to know, I'm going to keep this just for me, Do you know what I'm saying? Where you're not always revealing stuff about you.
Oh, no. I mean, things that I like and things that are interesting to me aren't really revealing anything. And those aren't like deep personal issues that whether or not I like cuckoo clocks, I better keep that to myself, or I feel exposed.
It's too personal.
Like I don't feel exposed.
Yeah.
But, I've also taken it upon myself, and years ago, like I wrote a book and I put out a documentary that were about very difficult things in my life, and I think that the intention and hopefully the joy of that was to help others feel less alone that were in similar situations, whether it's grief or trauma or drug addiction or any of the things that I've been through. it's I like to share with people that there's an alternative way, and that it is possible to get past that stuff. And even though the demon of addictive behavior may be with you for your life, it's about channeling that addictive behavior into an area that can be healthy for you.
Well, yeah,
So,
I'm sober for 9+ years at this point, and I just know that it was important for me to see and interact with people who were living a sober life, a happy and content sober life. But then there were also other people that, like musicians, Trey Anastasio being one of them. I'm a fish head. He had been sober for a couple of years at that point. When I saw, I'm like, okay, here's somebody that's doing it. And I was able to gain strength through them. And so when you do that and you're outspoken about whatever struggles that you have gone through, there are people out there that really do hold on to that and gravitate towards that.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I would say is that, the company I'm running, Dual Diagnosis, is all about mental health.
WMMR. Paranoid for us this morning, 18 minutes after 10 o'clock. Preston and Steve radio program. Just having a little discussion about the parade and BirdBot, and definitely bringing BirdBot 2.0, but we might bring BirdBot 1, too.
The OG.
To be on display. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if you had 2 trophies, or 2 championship belts or whatever, you'd bring those out, right?
Don't throw out the first one.
So there's a good chance. It's a matter of space because our engineering department is going to be quite busy moving stuff to the event. And also, I want to mention that our live stream partners, Neumann University, students from Neumann Media are going to be with us on Broad Street. And they're running the Preston and Steve Show video stream live on YouTube from the championship parade tomorrow.
It's awesome.
That's wonderful. So hopefully we'll be bringing plenty of visuals to you as well. And we'll be sharing our personal experiences while we were there, in case. And here's something I noticed as well. Marissa gave me some transcripts from 2018 when we were there. Believe it or not, we kind of have people log what we do on the program, and we can go back and see some of it. But we spent a lot of time taking phone calls from people who were on the parade route.
Yes. Yeah.
And what things were like in their neck of the woods. And so maybe we'll be looking to do that again, too. So if you've got the app with you and you can tune in and you can listen, if you happen to be headed down early and are hanging out during our show, we may use you as a parade correspondent.
Love that idea.
So
I was just chatting with Mike from our engineering department, and the hope is, and Rodney's going to be working on this as well, Rodney Bird, that they're going to be able to tap into the audio from the parade itself. So, hear some of the speeches, hear some of the playback of the game that, like they did a few years ago. So we should get some cool audio from the parade route itself.
Nice. All right. We're going to take this moment to ask you a question. It is our lesson learned question, and we're going to give away tickets to see the Doobie Brothers and the Coral Reefer Band on August 13th at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. And the question we'll go with is this. About 7:32 this morning, we found out what sport Hitler did play-by-play for. What was it? 215-263-WMMR. What sport did Hitler do play-by-play for at one point? 215-263-WMMR. It's very specific. Let's see if you know the answer.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, we'll get to the story. Steve, what's going on this morning?
Well, again, teen mom turned porn star Farrah Abraham will be making her stand-up comedy debut at a gentleman's club in Manhattan later this month. Abraham will reportedly be doing a lot of crowd work, which in this case involves giving the crowd hand jobs. Though he's serving 4 years in prison, rapper Blueface debuting a huge number of new face tattoos on his social media. Blueface says many are suggesting he should now be called Tattoo Face, but he says that.
Oh, my God.
He says that would be stupid. And finally, actor Armie Hammer striking back at the rumors he's a cannibal. He appeared on the Louis Theroux podcast. Hammer told the host that if he really loved eating human flesh, then why would he have to douse it in ranch dressing? That's your Hollywood Trash.
We'll ask a lesson question and see if you know the answer once again. It is, what sport did Hitler do play-by-play for? 215-263-WMMR. It's Tom that we'll go to. Hey, Tom, good morning.
Good morning. What's up, fellas?
Yo, buddy, looking for the answer. All right, do you know what sport Hitler did the play-by-play for?
T-ball?
T-ball. You are correct, sir. Tom, hang on. We're going going to give you a pair of tickets to go as MMR rocks the Doobie Brothers at the Core Reefer Band on August 13th at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. Tickets are on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. via Ticketmaster.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
I got a couple of follow-ups on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations that were announced the other day. So Bad Company is considered by many to be one of the biggest omissions from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And now for the very first time, the classic band has been nominated for the 2025 inductions.
Yeah.
And singer Paul Rogers and drummer Simon Kirk spoke with Billboard about Bad Company's nomination. Rogers credited fans and friends of the band for the nomination and said they've been lobbying for this nomination persistently for years, and they've never given up, so big thanks to them. Kirk, meanwhile, was actually forward with his feelings and said, "It's rankled me a bit. We've been around for a long time, and we've influenced a lot of bands, and I think it's a place that we deserve." Bad Company released their self-titled debut album in 1974. An artist becomes eligible for induction into the Hall of Fame 25 years after their first official release. So the band has been eligible since 1999. However, there may be a reason why it has taken so long. Apparently, Rogers shared in an October 2023 interview that Atlantic Records Rock and Roll Hall of Famer co-founder Ahmet Ertegun had invited him to be inducted, but he turned it down. Rogers said he told Ertegun, "I don't think rock and roll belongs in a museum." And he also alleged that he was approached to be inducted a couple of times, and he turned it down. But now, different story. He wants to be in. The Black Crowes are nominees as well. And despite previous negative remarks about the Rock Hall, singer Chris Robinson is very happy about the nomination. He said that he and the band are thrilled about being considered for induction. And he said, just to be mentioned alongside some of the names of the greatest artists, it's fantastic. Of course, Robinson hasn't always had such a warm and fuzzy feeling about the Rock Hall. Billboard notes it back in May 2017. Robinson said if the Black Crowes were inducted, he would attend, and said the Rock and Roll, he said that he would not attend. And he said the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to me is like going to the mall or something.
So that stuff obviously can come back to haunt you.
Yeah. Robinson, like other artists before him, mentioned how as time passes, you can change your mind, and doesn't regard his previous remarks as some sort of deposition. He added that if the Black Crowes are voted, he will be there, quote, with bells on my feet. Including the Black Crowes, the other 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees include not only Bad Company, but Mariah Carey, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Billy Idol, Joy Division and New Order, Cyndi Lauper, Mana, which, by the way, is a Spanish group. From what I've heard. I still don't know much about them.
Mexican.
Oh, they're Mexican.
Spanish language. Yeah.
Spanish language, okay. And Oasis, Outkast, Fish, Soundgarden, and the White Stripes. Joining the Black Crowes as first-time Hall nominees, Bad Company, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Billy Idol, Mana, Outkast, and Fish. The inductees will be announced in late April.
Preston, I didn't know anything about Mana either, but there's an article on PrestonandSteve.com and WMMR.com that asks that very question. You can learn a little bit about them.
You can vote every day, once a day, for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I need to go and do that.
Vote for Mana.
Do we know what is there a hit associated with Mana, or would they only be known in?
Don't know.
Mexico. There's a band. I'm just curious. There's a band that plays in From Dusk Till Dawn, and I was.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if
that wasn't Los Lonely Boys, was it?
Oh, that might have been. Yeah.
I'm not talking anymore. You're looking.
No, I'm
going to vote for Fish again.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Tito and Tarantula was the name of the band in.
Not Mana, Preston.
What was it?
From Dusk Till Dawn.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Mana's lead single, Steve, is called Oye Mi Amor. It's the most streamed song by the band on Spotify and Apple Music. And they're four guys from Mexico that grew up listening to the Beatles, the Stones, Queen, Led Zeppelin, Eagles, Santana. So it's a rock band that we're just not that familiar with because it's Spanish language.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll have to do some diving so we can get into that. All right, and then finally, the Lumineers have exciting news for fans. They're hitting the road for their automatic 2025 World Tour, covering the U.S. and Canada from July through mid-October. Fans can sign up for special ticket pre-sales starting Tuesday on the band's website with general sales starting February 21st. They will be performing at Citizens Bank Park on September 19th.
Is it just them?
I thought it looked like that.
The Lumineers?
I didn't look up Citizens Bank Park on that date to see who else is on there, but they have a ton of special guests lined up for the tour, including Young the Giant, St. Vincent, and Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats, among others.
All right.
Different guests are joining them on different dates. So Nick is taking a look now to see if we can identify that, but I was kind of surprised by that. I don't know a whole hell of a lot about the Lumineers.
I
than
like
a couple
them.
of songs.
Yeah.
But
they open for you, too.
Yeah, but Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah, I thought they were an opening act for a big stadium band, meaning that, that they have a following. I didn't know they were Citizens Bank big.
So here they're going to have special guests Dr. Dog and Chance Pena.
Oh, Dr. Dog's a Philly artist.
Yeah.
And I like Dr. Dog, or a few songs by Dr. Dog. I don't know them that well. But also, that's not a stadium act. And no disrespect to Dr. Dog.
No, it's interesting, though. All right. So
it's a hospital act.
That's all that I know, dear friends. Because he's a doctor. Yeah, I got it. All right. That's it. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back in a second. We're going to wrap up our program and get the letter of the day for the word of the week. So that is on the way for you when we return.
Preston and Steve.
I put out a book that was about my drug addiction. I put out a film that was about my mom's death. It does resonate with a lot of people sometimes, if they've got similar circumstances. But, at the same time, I'm not a doctor. And so those people will come to me personally and say, I'm going through this and I don't know what to do. And I'm like, look, I already told you what I went through and how I dealt with it, but I can't advise, like a doctor would. Like, I don't know what to tell you. That's, you need to find a team of your own. But I think that that's not the tough part. I don't really think there is a tough part to it. I think that as long as you're comfortable with who you are and what you've been through and that, behaviors can change.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's all we're doing. Like, I may not be doing drugs anymore, but now I'm in line at 1 a.m. at GameStop waiting for the next thing to come.
Dude, all right. Yes, that's exactly. That is the right way to think about it. We have we all have the same doctor. He's kind of the he's on TV in here in Philadelphia, and he says, if I have to, I will write you a prescription for a video game because that's the stuff. To get that joy of something that doesn't have, like you say, you're not smoking crack. This is something you're
something
into.
That's not going to kill you.
Exactly. That you can get passionate. Like, I love living through other people's passions, and it excites me to revisit my own. Your cuckoo clock thing, or just the different things you talk about. That to me is something that people, they sometimes seem reticent to allow themselves. Well, it's just crazy. Should I really collect that, or is that do it? Because we just don't think that way a lot of times.
Well, ultimately, we're all here for however long we're here, and we are ultimately going to dissolve into the universe or whatever happens.
Right.
So, do what you love, as long as it's not hurting anybody else or yourself. Yep. Like, there's really, that this life is given to us for us to enjoy.
Yeah.
And I really feel strongly about that. And frankly, one of the things that I enjoy about life most is being able to perform with this band and to come out and do that with you guys is what is that? The 25th, September 25th?
Correct.
Yep. I'm super pumped about that, and that's, I wouldn't be able to do that had I stayed on the path I was on.
Right.
So it's all, to me, it's all, this. I'm in the bonus round.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
I unlocked the little part of the game that allowed me to play in another room.
Yes.
I'm into it.
Dave, we're all excited about that as well. I wanted to ask, so every Tuesday we do a thing, it's called Tattoo Tuesday, and we give away a free tattoo every single Tuesday. And as a result, we used to do it here in the studio, and as a result, we've had several contestants and winners of Ink Master in our studio actually administering tattoo, which is really cool. Is Ink Master coming back to Paramount Plus by any chance? Do you know?
You know what? I honestly don't know. I heard that they were picking it up. That was the last I heard of it. The only thing that I can assume from not hearing anything is that they're rebooting it with a new cast. That's all I know.
That's all you know? All right.
In fact, I don't even know that because there's been very little dialogue. So I hear that Paramount Plus is going to pick it up. I guess they started a new streaming service.
Yep.
And, but I don't know. But I will tell you what's very funny about that is that Ink Master was a show that, I mean, it was on 10 years ago. I mean, it's hard to believe it was a decade ago that started, and we did 13 seasons. And then during the pandemic, Paramount sold a couple of seasons to Netflix. So now it's on Netflix, but these are old episodes.
Right.
But what that did was that opened us up to a whole new audience that had never seen us. And I started getting messages from people who were angry at me for certain people who got sent home 10 years ago.
Oh my God!
You know what I mean? Like they thought
It's
it
just
was
now. Yeah.
Fuck you for sending Josh home. He was the one. Like, how dare you? I'm like,
Oh, my
who's
God.
Josh? I don't even know what you're talking about.
That's great.
But people get very passionate about that. I hope that when you give out tattoos, is there one artist that you use, or is there a resident artist? Or
Yeah. There's
there's a shop.
Yep.
Yeah, one shop, several artists within that shop, and there's a guy named Troy here who is he's a big name in the tattoo industry in Philadelphia. Actually, he is responsible for a lot of the tattoo conventions all across the country.
Yep.
So he has a lot of guys and he's also super generous. So
do they get to decide what they are getting, or does it have to be a WMMR?
they do.
Logo
They have to
on the
include.
throat.
They have to include us in there somewhere, and it can even be very, very subtle. That's all that we ask. So
Right.
yeah.
That's nice.
All the rabbit in the the Playboy cover. It can be very discreet. So yeah.
Some are more subtle
Do you
than
want to know
others.
something funny about this? Do you see this?
Yeah. That's the Playboy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so here's a quick story. I was doing an interview with Hugh Hefner, and Hugh Hefner was talking about how the bunny. Well, first of all, it started out it was a stag. It was supposed to be a cartoon of a stag.
Okay, that makes
and
sense.
the night before the release, he couldn't sleep, and he got up in the middle of the night and called the designer and said, "I hate the stag. You got to come up with something else." So they scrambled at all hours of the night and landed on this bunny, which then became the most iconic thing, in terms of branding.
Wow. Huge.
And he went ahead to tell me that it is probably the #1 most tattooed logo of all time.
The Playboy bunny.
I believe it.
Wow.
And so at that moment, I said, has anybody in the history of tattooing this bunny asked you for permission? And he said, no, actually, nobody's ever asked. And I said, well, then let me be the first. Is it okay with you if I get the bunny tattooed? And he said, absolutely. So I have the one and only Hugh Hefner sanction.
Wow.
Like, I wouldn't have gotten this otherwise. But the fact that, what do I care? I'm gonna tell you. But the fact that Hugh sanctioned it and gave me the okay, and it's the only one that exists that's like that, was pretty special.
That's awesome.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty
That's
cool.
awesome. Excellent. Dave, we're really excited. Not only that you guys are playing the show, but that you took the time to join us on the program this morning. We really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, man. I'm looking forward to being out there. And are you guys going to be at the show?
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. I would not miss your guys' set. So
We'll come back and say hello, will you?
Okay, for sure. Absolutely. Thank you so
All
much,
right,
Dave.
guys.
We'll see you in September. Dave
Pleasure.
Navarro, guys. How about it? Wow. He's awesome. Super nice guy. And I bet you he could point to every single tattoo and tell a story like that as well.
What you're playing right here, I remember, Preston, when I first heard this song, I was like,
What's
whoa!
that? Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah. After splitting from Kristen Cavallari after 10 years together, sources tell E.T. That Jay Cutler is on the celeb dating app called Raya.
This just in, Jay Cutler's on the dating app Soraya.
It's
Psoriasis.
Raya. No.
It's for people looking for other people with skin conditions.
That's cool.
Let's meet for some drinks and chafe together. Let's flake together.
Some 41 and landmines on MMR's Preston and Steve show comes to a close for a Thursday morning. We'll be leaving the comfy confines of our studio for a breezy but very, very fun and crazy enthusiastic day tomorrow. We'll get to the details in a little bit. I would like to thank our one and only guest on the show this morning. Anonymously, Veronica called us for a very interesting conversation.
One if you are unaware, you may want to listen back on the podcast.
Yeah. If you've ever thought about, finding a way to make money from something you didn't think was worth a single penny, and then you find out if you fart in someone's face, you can make money.
Make bank, bro.
Yeah, and we think way more money. We think she's being underpaid.
Yes.
But I mean, if she gets a lot of work, it might be worth it. I don't really know. We'll have to see. But nonetheless,
The age-old dilemma.
Thank you to Veronica for checking in with us this morning. But that was it as far as...
and Sarah Clayton gave us a call.
Sarah
Clayton.
that's right.
Sarah Clayton,
A call from Sarah and a check-in from calendar girl Carly, too.
Yeah. And Dr. Mike.
And Dr. Mike.
How about that?
Look at this. Everybody was on.
Doctors and farters.
All right, we need...
And Kathy called in.
I keep forgetting. All these things have happened.
It's amazing.
Am I is there anything else?
I can't think of anyone else.
Before I wrap up.
No,
Danny Torrance called in.
Yeah, that's true, too. So Pierre Robert is in Le Studio this morning. Hello. Nice
Ready
to see
for
you,
tomorrow, Cambrias?
Yeah, man, we're getting ready.
It's cool. We are going to have some fun down there.
I think we are. It's such a perfect location.
Yeah. I'm getting a hotel down there tonight.
Are you?
That seemed to me to be the most logical plan. Although I was a couple of nights ago, I was going through hotels, and every one of them have spiked the occasion to increase their bottom line.
Yeah,
$200 rooms, $8,000-$9,000 for rooms in average hotels.
$8,000 or $9,000.
Sorry, $800 or $900 to $1,000.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Some 1,100, some 1,200. Wow. Ridiculous. Utterly,
I took a quick look on VBRO to see if there were any, houses or apartments to rent, and those there were very few of those. I mean, just one or two in Center City that I saw, and they were, $400 a night.
Yeah. So if you have a Center City place, you could cash out.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Very much so.
Yeah. I looked into a friend of ours, Jesse, has an Airbnb, and I reached out to him on behalf of these guys. I had gotten a room on Sunday night. I was like, I already know what I'm doing here. But he's like, no. He's like, it's already gone, sold to Birds fans, Eagles fans. Yep.
One of our listeners, I was doing a couple of pieces I recorded from Broad Street yesterday, and one of our listeners texted in and reserved a room 2 months ago, and for the whole week.
Okay.
And she,
it's a good idea.
It was brilliant.
Because you can cancel it.
Yeah. And but I guess she's been there for the whole week. I don't know if she had to take all 5 or 6 days she reserved because she didn't know which day the parade would fall. Because normally it's like today, wouldn't it be normally today, Thursday?
Yeah. That's the way they did it in 2018.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, normally we don't. It's not a normal thing. So you never know. So anyway, it's gonna be cool. And everybody, be cool tomorrow. Have fun. Be nice. Be lovey.
Hey, did you see the video that Marissa took of the Cambria?
I did not. I heard you talking about it.
Great.
You're
really
gonna love
looking
forward to seeing that.
Yep, we got a great spot. Cool. Very much looking forward to it. All right, letter of the day?
Yes.
All right, let's do this.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
And the Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by the letter
P as in pride.
All right, we have one more to go. $500 from Captain America. We will give away tomorrow. Don't miss Marvel Studios' Captain America. Brave New World starring Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford. It's in theaters everywhere this Friday, and you can get tickets now. Thank you for playing my song yesterday during the Rush workforce block. I listened to that, and I love that you added time standstill in the whole idea of that right now, all this enjoyment that we're getting from the Super Bowl victory should be savored. You should stop and think about it and spend some time on it. If this has brought you joy, have it bring you some extended joy by acknowledging it, really taking it in.
It's so important, and I'm glad you got to hear it. I remember when we got the Eddie Vedder interview, which I had been working on for well over 10 years, and was so frustrating. We got every member of the band except for Eddie, and work, and finally it worked out. We got the interview. We got a shout out, which I didn't expect. And a couple of days, and we're trying to savor that because, I mean, it was really special to us. And Bill goes, all right, well, let's move on. I go, No. Bill was, I said, no. Do you know how many radio stations across the country would give their teeth and toes and fingers for what we just got? You can't just say, all right, next, let's talk about...
stop talking and listen to me.
We can't just jump off to the Cardboard Classic now. No, we have to savor this. Because in radio, the tendency is, all right, done next.
Yeah.
Done next.
Santa's got to go.
But we don't. We're going to savor
Shut the
this.
F down, Bill, and shut the F up. Because I'm telling you what's happening now. We're going to savor this.
Yeah.
We're getting in the bathtub. We're going to soak this
like
thing
that,
in.
by the way.
We're soaking it in the tub of love.
And
all right?
victory.
And victory.
Well, and as Philadelphians, we don't get this type of thing very often.
Exactly.
You know, and so we really should take the time to enjoy it. I'm very much looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be cold but beautiful. And, soak it all in. Because there's been a long drought in this town in a lot of different respects. And for us to be able to get together and celebrate and have a good time together should be a blast.
You know what we're doing right now? We're marinating in
Yeah,
it.
man.
I like that. Because some sports people I've heard go, all right, well, it's a dynasty. No. No, next year it's going to be, no, stop.
Right.
Stop.
Agreed.
Enjoy it. I remember when the Phillies won the thing, I watched TV and Michael Barkan and a couple of his associates going, this is just the beginning of several World Series in a row. And I think they did go the next year.
They went the next year, but they only won once, you know?
Right.
So enjoy this while you can because you never know what's going to happen next year.
Bathtub, savor, marinate.
Excellent. All right. What's up on the show today?
I don't know.
Hell.
It's Peter Gabriel's birthday. We're going to celebrate that. It's National Radio Day, so I want to do some radio songs in honor of radio. And I have all these inspirational songs I've been working on and preparing and thinking, well, maybe I'll do those tomorrow. Maybe I'll do some of those today. But tomorrow's Valentine's Day, and I always do a huge love-hate block. So I don't know exactly how the bulk of the program is going to shape out. We'll figure it out as we go.
I like that. All right. We'll take this moment to thank our sponsors. Preston Steve Show is brought to you today by Trinity Rehab, with locations all over Trinity-rehab.com. Also, Dunkin', the Preston Steve Show runs on Dunkin', and by Acme Markets, fresh foods, local flavors. Tomorrow is Friday, no sad bro, and a Super Bowl parade, of which all of the people in this room will be broadcasting live from. So we're very excited about that, and we hope we will either see you or you will hear us. We're looking forward to the day tomorrow. That's it. We're done. Rage on. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow, friend. Bye-bye.
Preston and Steve.